Mm-hmm.
What? No comprende, okay?
Okay.
Huh?
Huh?
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
What?
I hate this. What is going on, everyone? And welcome right into the College Football After Dark, right here on the Voice of College Football main channel. How is everyone doing tonight?
Doing great, good sir. How you doing?
Living
Once
the
again,
dream.
it's a bye week, so I'm very thrilled. Very thrilled. Nothing bad technically could happen. I mean, I guess it can, but nothing bad happened. So, everyone in the chat, you could be anywhere else, but you always come back here for some reason. I don't know why, but you do. We appreciate that. So one by
'Cause they
one is
love
usually.
us.
I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. They've done it for this is the third year now, so something's going right, I guess. One by one, everyone except for Sean, because Sean sucks. Tell people where they can stalk you online if they so choose to.
Well, I mean, they can stalk me online on YouTube at Jackson Johnson 979, where I'm 126 subs away from the magic number 500. I hope to get there before my birthday on September 30th. And I'm getting closer and closer to 2,000 on Ets, on Jackson BOCFB on Ets, where I just kind of run my mouth about what's going on here and there across the college football NFL world. And you can find me on Instagram and Threads on Jackson Johnson 543908. And every Monday afternoon, you can find me on Alabama at the Voice of College Football, where Johnny Burtz and I bring you the latest news and notes on the Alabama Crimson Tide, including our takes on what's going to happen with the Alabama Georgia matchup. Plus, we have Palmer Toms from Dodds HQ at On 3 joining us for the Alabama Georgia preview. And what were the takeaways from there? And let me tell you something, it's going to be a fun ride tomorrow afternoon. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss it.
Yeah, we skip Sean because Sean's nowhere. He's nowhere and everywhere. It's weird.
Well, you can find him on Ets, of course.
A little bit.
I love it.
Let's get his ass over to 200. That's what I say.
It was posted by Jackson. He was nice.
Yeah, you can join all the porn bots that are following me. Have fun.
Right. I've been getting like, this person's not following you. I'm like, okay.
Have you been a bad boy, Sean?
No, Shane, where can people follow you at?
Well, you guys can watch me on Tuesdays and Thursdays on the Voice of College Football, the West Virginia channel. And guys, I also have a show that I do that same day in the evening on it's called the West Virginia Mountaineer Mafia. It's a newer show. It's just a little more lighthearted, kind of in the same theme as Golden Blue Dude, but not without the sunglasses and all the energy. So also Wednesdays I do a Steelers Dynasty podcast every Wednesday at 9. So if you like NFL football, we usually get into talking about football somewhere, some way into the hour show, but we talk about food, all kinds of Pittsburgh nuanced stuff. So, and we just got our first sponsor, which is Mucky Duck Mustard. So, very excited about that. And it's great because their website is IHateKetchup.com, which, is strange in itself. Like, who hates ketchup? It's delicious.
Weird people. Like Sean.
No. The mustard industry definitely hates ketchup because it is the superior condiment, and
Yeah.
they would desperately like to see it banned, placed on the list of controlled substances.
Now I will say there's if you want to sub ketchup and mustard for something all together. One, I'm a huge fan of horsey sauce.
Ooh.
or Arby's horsey sauce or Arby's sauce. But Sam bought it he picked it up to buy it earlier in the store, which was really caught me off guard because I bought it before and we haven't had it for a while. He bought yum yum sauce.
Oh, yum yum sauce. I've
Yum
never
yum
had Arby's,
sauce.
but I've had yum yum sauce.
Fucking, that's amazing.
Yum yum sauce.
That's
they
a great
sell it at
substitute.
Sam's Club. You can buy it at Sam's Club, so that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yum yum sauce, guys.
Very good. Very, very good stuff.
Good on burgers, on fries, yum yum sauce, on a wrap.
There we go.
Yeah, it's a great substitute for a lot of shit, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, welcome to Condiments After Dark.
Yep.
This is what people
sorry,
come here
kids.
for. This is what people come here for. Yum yum sauce, everyone. Yum 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 yum. Mhm.
Yeah, there we go. Yum yum. But Ben, where can they stalk you online?
Yeah, you've already dropped it. Yeah, the Oregon channel here on the Voice of College Football every Wednesday. This Wednesday, like he says in the chat, Locked on UCLA will be on to talk to the UCLA Bruin game. You can find me on Exploring with Ben and Sam channel, my normal one, mostly for live streams right now. And then you'll find me here on Sunday nights, doing for the most part, not every Sunday. We'll get into that later.
How interesting is that your first conference game in the Big Ten is against UCLA? It's against
it's a Big Ten schedule starts against familiar foe. Yeah.
On Big Ten After Dark. That's gonna be
my God. Don't
You're
get me
easy
started
to
with that. I saw this
Easy.
kickoff time. I was like, are you kidding me? UCLA, you suck. That's why we got bumped to that time spot.
I mean, I'll stay up for that game because I'm an all and out sicko after all.
No, I know, but I was like, we have the after dark, after the post game. I'm like, it's just like kill me.
I tried to stay up for the Kansas State game, and I start falling asleep, and I woke up in my chair. That's how old I am.
Oh man, like no problem. I think the friends, the frenemies, the friends, family, and frenemies, and the cashiers at Publix, they need to get a hold of the Oregon post game show for sure.
I've fallen asleep during a post game before too, so don't worry. Don't worry, Shane.
Yeah.
Well, I fell asleep before it, and I woke up the next morning. I went,
Oh no!
"Oops."
And apparently we've got Alex Orgy in the on the panel tonight as well.
Hey man, there weren't enough Trojans to handle this orgy.
I'll
tell you that.
All right. All I can say is this, and you know what? Let's just skip right through the list. Michigan takes down USC 27-24. I'm sorry, Michigan. You don't have two quarterbacks, which means you have none. You have zero quarterbacks because both of them are crap.
Well, to be determined.
Well, I mean,
It's like both of them are crap. I'm sorry.
32 passing yards in the whole game, which I mean that.
Thank you.
Which was
Thank
the
you.
fewest passing yards since 1987 on Halloween against Northwestern.
Yeah. And before that, it was Cade versus Washington in 2021. Look, man, the coaching staff botched the QB situation. They should have went with Alex Orgy from the start and just let him grow. His first game since high school started is against a top 12 team with a much improved defense. They didn't really ask him to do too much. They leaned on the run game. I don't know. For me, it's to be determined. I don't really think we got the weapons regardless, and our right tackle can't really pass protect too well. So it's really hard for me to judge the kid. So, yeah.
All right, let me see if that fixes your mic because you are fucking Mr. Roboto. I heard everything you said. It's just like, wow, aggressive. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the quarterback play though was just. I mean, and as a Michigan person, you're a fan yourself. You have to go. Yeah, that was atrocious. I mean, you got the job done. The defense held you in there. Then the run game got some big some big plays. But a season long, you cannot just depend on that. You're not Iowa.
Oh, 100%. I agree with that. I think, look, it definitely needs to develop. Look, I'm a guy that I look at context. It's the kid's first start. There was no Colston Loveland. He hasn't started since high school. I mean, you're asking him to go up against what I think is actually a good defense in USC this year. In terms of the run game,
it's better. I would say it's improved. It is improved. I will give USC's defense. It's
tackling's still kind of an issue there. That last one by Mullings.
Well, I thought they tackled well. Now you're pointing obviously to the Mullings run, which to be honest with you, this is homer stuff, but Mullings will be the RB1 going forward, and I think he's the most underrated running back in the country. Point blank, period. The kid's a beast. He's 6'3", 230, is fast as hell for that size. He reminds me of like a prime Bama back. And he's going to be getting a lot of carries moving forward because he's clearly better than Donovan Edwards. Donovan Edwards, I don't know what's wrong. In 2 years running, I don't know what's wrong with the guy, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't believe it. Like correct me if I'm wrong here, Michigan man. I don't even think even the most optimistic Michigan fans thought when you got the ball back down 4 with 5 minutes to go that you had much of a chance at all in that spot. In fact,
because we hadn't proven that we had anything resembling a pass game, so for sure it seemed like a stretch. But at the same time, I mean, Michigan they messed up a lot in that second half. I mean, we had 2 turnovers in that second half. Really, the game shouldn't even come down to a game-winning drive, in my opinion. Yeah, was there the pick six? Sure, but we had 2 turnovers that directly led to scores. You had the Kenneth Grant fumble, which got refumbled back to USC. They scored on the next couple plays.
Yeah,
and then Edwards fumbled it late in the game that gave them their touchdown to get the lead. So
I could say you should have been down by more than a touchdown because the first touchdown probably shouldn't have happened anyway because Khalil Mullings was almost certainly short on that 4th down the play before. Like he was. Like I do not get how they do not review
JT Barrett stuff, man. Like that's like when Michigan fans say, JT Barrett was short. I mean, he was right on the line.
The difference is short, but I don't know. I don't know if they could have overturned it or not, but almost everybody that's not a Michigan fan that I saw.
I don't know.
It was close. It was very close.
Yeah, that's like the JT Barrett spot. That's like Michigan fans that go, which I think he made the line, JT Barrett. But that's like when Michigan fans go, he was short because it was just so close. So I'm not mad at that. But having 2 fumbles in the second half, I mean, when you're up 10, it's huge. It led to 2 touchdowns.
It definitely was not the game Michigan wanted to have, but at the same time, the outcome was what you wanted. It was a win,
Well, no, let's be clear. Almost no one picked Michigan. So, I mean, like, coming into the game, you switch quarterbacks. You don't have really your only passing weapon this season up to this point. I don't know anyone that picked Michigan to win that game.
Well, the thing of it is, if you're talking,
Clint.
If you're talking 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago before that Texas game, if you looked on paper, you're like, that's going to be a great matchup, But after the Texas game, you're like, what the hell's going on in Michigan? That's
why I hate preseason stuff, man. Preseason is the worst because
you guys were good last year.
I know, but we lost so much. I mean, we lost pretty much the majority of our coaching staff. We lost 10 of 11 starters on offense. We only had, I think out of 100 and whatever teams, we were like 5th from last in returning production. So
that dog doesn't hunt if you're a true blue chip program.
No.
Well, I mean,
even the major programs like Ohio State's going to be in a similar situation next year. Ohio State.
We don't recruit. You go by recruiting.
Top tier.
Yeah.
I know, but we don't recruit like these other schools, though. If you look at the last 4 years, we don't recruit in the top. We haven't recruited in the top 10. Like, we're not. Yeah, we're a blue chip program, but Jim Harbaugh in the last 4 years didn't recruit at the level he probably should have. So.
No,
Well, it was a good game, regardless.
was.
No
Real
matter
good
what
game.
the
It was
outcome
a hell
was
of a
for
game.
your personal picks, it was a good game. It was a close one,
Man.
and for a while, I was like, Michigan is killing USC offense. Our defense was
We
shutting
got a
them
hell of a.
down.
I'll tell you this, man. Our one thing we will be able to lean on this year, and someone will, force Orgy to throw, no doubt. But our run game, our run game is elite still. It's still elite, and especially if we keep giving the ball to Mullings, because he's a beast. We just have to figure out some resemblance of a pass game. We have to, like, whether we have to do slants or something. Because one complaint I have is, even with Orgy, you're still trying to do this slow developing pro style offense that takes time for routes to develop. But anyway.
Well, and I love some of those big plays that Khalil Mullins made, but at the same time, that USC defense, where was it? Like how did they not stop him? Like, good God.
Yeah, I mean,
He's real good, man.
It would be
A lot of teams ain't
2023.
gonna be able to stop him, bro. I'm telling you right now.
I
He's a handful.
Is our own line fixed? Yeah, I don't know. It's a bye week. We won the week. That's all that matters.
They give up fewer sacks this week than they have the whole year.
I'll say this though, man. Texas, we lost to Texas, and I think Texas up to this point is the best team in the country. So if we're gonna have a loss on our record right now, at least it's to the number one team in the country. So, and that O line, I'll tell you this: that Texas O line, after watching what our D line did to USC, that Texas O line has to be the best O line in the country. Has to be.
That's
They look
fair.
like
USC's O line's not good though.
They look like a team.
But Texas O line,
Yes,
Texas
they're
O
fantastic.
line is clearly number one up to this point. I don't even think that's debatable.
That's a fair point and opinion, and I think a lot of people would agree with that. Some people might have some whatever about it, but hey, I don't see anything wrong with that. Shane is here, and I have something. I have to pick a little bone with you. I'm sorry. When West Virginia is losing a game, will you guys stop making excuses with weather delays?
Hey, I wanted to ride it out, but
this is twice already this year. You're like, and then weather delay for like 3 hours.
Well, here, you want to hear something funny for the Penn State game?
Just stop it, West Virginia.
Yeah,
Stop it.
Well, it gives me time to get home. It's 2 hours to Morgantown from my house. It allows me to get home so I can finish watching the rest of the game to comfort my own home.
It just shows you how seriously they take football in West Virginia. They call up their friends in the deep state. The weather, the people that actually control in this country, and they're like, hey, can we get like some lightning in here? All right, and then Biden said, no problem. We're on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What the hell, Clint? What the hell is that?
That's it. That's exactly what happens. But no, that's tough if you're playing ball to have like a 2.5 hour delay, whether you're doing well or doing poorly. There's no advantage, guys. It's about who can keep focus and keep these kids focused and warmed up, because your body cools down. The kids kind of zone out. It's just really difficult. The only thing being worse than having a weather delay is if you're an East Coast team traveling to the West Coast and having a weather delay. So instead of being 10 at night your time, it's 2 in the freaking morning. So it could always be worse.
Yeah, no, any delay in the game, that's it. How do you stay motivated, stay warmed up, and ready to go back on the field? Because you've seen that happen before. It's not this game specifically, but you've seen teams like winning by several scores, and they get delayed, and all of a sudden the other team comes back. Because they get fired up in the locker room. The other team's like, hey, we got this. And they're just chilling out. The other team goes roaring back. It happens. It happens.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting seeing how Garrett Green played throughout the game. And I think Neil Brown realized, like, okay, maybe I'm doing something a little wrong on how I'm developing Garrett Green. So I'm just kind of let him do his magic in the final 5 minutes.
I think they let him off the leash Jackson. Absolutely. I hope that's the green that the Mountaineers get to see. Mountaineer fans get to see going forward. And this is what happened last year. I think they tried to rein him in, especially after he took his helmet off in that famous Hail Mary game where they got to 15 extra yards because he took his helmet off. That was against Houston. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. It just seems like Neil Brown is like doing the same thing Bobby Bowden did in the early 70s when he was a young coach, and that's just cutting his teeth at West Virginia's sake. Like he's learning. It's like it's like getting a Ferrari for your first car and denting the hell out of it and curbing the tires. That's kind of what I feel Neil Brown's doing, because Leslie, the defensive coordinator, really hasn't had a defensive coordinator job up until this point. So I don't know. The fans are still. I see fans with Fire Neil Brown shirts still. So that win is just one of about 7 more that cat needs to keep his ass from getting hot.
So, like, I do wonder about programs like West Virginia. Like, if you were just floating in that slightly above average, like 7-5, 8-4 range, like how long can that continue in?
Well, that's been the standard for as long as West Virginia's been around, because in the 70s, Pitt was good and used to own West Virginia. Of course, in the 90s and 2000s, kind of West Virginia turned the corner. Pitt would win only when it was very, very important for West Virginia to win. But, they are the winningest program in college football without a national championship. That's 15th overall with winning percentage. So they're not like just cutting the mustard or just being average. They're well above average. It's just they're the kings of mediocrity. And that's kind of a backhanded compliment. But guess who else are the most winningest programs without a national championship?
Don't you do it.
No.
Don't you do it.
Well, Oregon's on the list.
Yeah, don't you do it. I know.
Virginia Tech is number 2, and Wisconsin is right there. I think Wisconsin's number 3. Oregon, I think, is at 4. So
we're somewhere in that range. Yeah,
those are programs that are historically good programs, but just can't get it done. So,
well, Virginia Tech and Wisconsin aren't historically good programs. They were good. They're good. They're good in like relatively like recent.
But Mountaineers.
Virginia's a better program historically than both of them.
Well, thank you. I think that was a compliment, because Virginia Tech was hot for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Oregon's only been the last 14, 15 years, plus about a 4 or 5 year stretch in the early 2000s, and then 94, 95 with Rich Brooks his last season or whatever. It was
that's what I'm saying. West Virginia has been a solid program for decades, whereas like those other three programs, if you go before 1990,
I can name the years where they were just phenomenal. Like 82, they beat a Dan Marino-led Pitt team, and then 84, they beat Penn State. 93, they were undefeated. They beat a really good Miami team and a Boston College team that year. Of course, everybody talks about the 88 team with Major Harris that lost to Notre Dame. But I think back to 04, 05, 06, and 07, where Rich Rod just changed football with the read option. And I've never, ever, and I've seen a lot of college football I'm going to be 50. I average about maybe going live to maybe 8 games a year. And I worked at West Point, so I went to all those games for those years. That was one of the fastest teams I've ever saw with Pat White and Steve Slayton. Oregon's has some really fast guys. I've not seen them live, but on film, they're look just about guys. College football in the past 20 years has changed so much. And then let's go to the last 4 years. It's made a cataclysmic jump to something we've never seen before. And as far as the way it's run in
the last 12 to 13 years, you have seen such transition between offensive styling where they've all rotated and varied and gone from up tempo to now this style to back to this style again. Like it's been insane.
I would say defense has made a comeback in the last.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Defense. If you look at the last
defensive scheming has absolutely caught up to offense.
Oh yeah, it's caught up. If you look at the last three national champions. Yeah, if you look at the last three national champions, they Michigan and then those two Georgia teams, they're very similar. They were all-time elite defenses with a very good O-line that had a good running game. That wasn't really elite, with receivers and had a very good tight end. Those are the last three national champions. It was built on defense and a running game.
Yeah, no, I mean that's it. But before, for a while there, it was just like offense. Then teams adjusted. Then other teams, they had to adjust to those quick pace offenses, changed to a different style a little bit. Not necessarily going away from spread, but to not being up tempo. There's been so much change in the last 15 years. It's been
a lot of that tempo stuff has kind of been legislated out of the game, though. Like a lot of rule changes with substitutions and stuff. You can't just run play after play after play. I think those Oregon teams were averaging like under 20 seconds between end of play and snap. Like they were snapping the ball with like 30 seconds left on the play clock, and that's basically you can't really do that now. I mean, like the rules have changed that kind of pace.
You can. There are teams that try to do it. It just takes very specific athletes and coaching to really get it going like that. Like most don't anymore. Most do not.
Like you legally can't play as fast as Oregon.
Well, most don't do it. Most don't even try. They'll do like 20 seconds on the play clock, and that's hurry up now.
Or they might do it for a couple games, guys, but not. Oregon seems to have that niche. But Hummus Hero, I love the name. Hummus is delicious, but I have to disagree. I think over the last 30 years, West Virginia has been a much better program over the past 30 years than Pitt. When then most fans here aren't over 50, so they don't remember anything previous to Dan Marino. Like Dan Marino is like who? But
Dan Marino was Pittsburgh quarterback who later got drafted by the Dolphins.
I have no idea who you're talking about. Who? Yeah, no,
the 1983 NFL.
Shut up.
All I know is we produced the GOAT. That's all.
Jackson might not be 50, but I guarantee he knows more about like 1950s, 1960s television than the rest of the panel combined.
Yeah, I'm sure of.
It has titles. That's true. That's so true. Absolutely. And Heisman in the 70s, they were dominant, but so was Army in the 40s. And we're not talking about West Point, and they're not doing the rocket and running the wishbone. But Pitt had a Heisman national championship, but that was back in 1976. So that was when I was a year old.
Yep, Pittsburgh won it all in 1976. One of the best years to go to the movie theater.
Were set, and that team was phenomenal. So, not taking that away from them. I'm just saying, Pitt of the 90s wasn't that great. Larry Fitzgerald was phenomenal when he was there. They had some 1 or 2 years here and there, but they didn't make it to a handful of BCS games. But not giving Pitt. I'm giving Pitt their due, but I'm just saying the past few years, being 15 or 20. So
yeah,
which is great. Which is a great thought too. You said Larry Fitzgerald.
I would say Pitt has more has sharper highs probably or more. I mean, West Virginia has some too, though. I mean, they've had some really good teams.
Well, they beat a really good Oklahoma team in the Fiesta Bowl. They beat Georgia in the Sugar Bowl when it was played in Atlanta.
Destroyed a good Clemson team.
They beat a good Clemson team in the Orange Bowl. Those are just three. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, those are some significant
that's
wins.
recent. That's recent history too.
Very recent.
Yeah.
Those are going back 10 years, but you know, I think Pitt won one BCS game, and I can't remember who it was, but those are pretty significant wins on the national.
Yeah, Pitt. I remember Pittsburgh played in the Fiesta Bowl against Utah, but they got smacked.
Well,
and they played Michigan State in the was it the Peach Bowl a couple years ago, or was they lost? Yeah, but I mean,
Michigan State threw the cart in before the horse by giving Mel Tucker a ginormous contract extension. But anyway,
West Virginia is just one of those programs that's never been bad. I don't have any memory, right?
Well, Pitt and West Virginia are faces only a mother can love, because it's like picking the prettiest girl in a big nose contest. So don't. I'm not saying that they're the best thing since sliced bread, but if you're a West Virginia fan, you live and breathe the West Virginia, because there's no NFL team. Okay.
The first college football game I ever went to, I think Ohio State played Pitt, and I think Ohio State might have scored 80, or they scored like 73. It was like in 95, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I was really young at the time. I was like 6 or 7, and
then West Virginia
and my parents dragged me out of there. I couldn't.
I do want to say you were talking Pitt, we're talking culture. You brought up Larry Fitzgerald, and Jackson. You might be able to do this. You're really good at this. You're fast. You need to check out the Oregon live stream that we had with Larry Fitzgerald's college roommate and teammate, Yogi Roth. Very fascinating interview there that we had with him, or something like that. And yeah, he was Larry Fitzgerald's college roommate, which is just a random nugget of information there.
I had no idea Yogi even went to Pitt. I really didn't know that.
Yeah, he walked on and got a scholarship.
That's right, folks. Tell your friends.
I wonder if there's been any other college football players named Yogi since he came.
Right.
Is he the last one? Maybe.
Probably. It's definitely. I mean, you can't get more unique than having.
Well, guys, your kid has guys. If you name a kid that, he has two things are going to happen to him. There's two paths: the blue pill and the red pill. The red pill, he gets his ass kicked every week. The other pill, he's going to be a superstar, a baseball player. That's just it.
Yeah.
I just had bad flashbacks from my live stream last time on my channel where they were talking about the red pill, blue pill, and then they got pissed off. We didn't understand what they were talking about. We're like, "Are you talking politics? What are you talking about?" And then they wouldn't explain. We're like, "What is happening right now?" I just got flashbacks from last night.
I actually have a great story about the name Yogi. My dad, his name is Roger, and when my grandparents were having him, they couldn't agree on any names. So my grandmother eventually said, I will just let you pick him. I really don't care what his name is. So when they actually had her, we're going to have her sign and fill out the birth certificate when they gave her, they handed it to my grandmother, and it had the name Yogi Garner, and she said, "Hell to the no, that is not happening." And she literally looked out the window, and I think there was a Rogers department store outside of it, and just said, "Yeah, that's good. That's good enough. Whatever, Roger." And that's how he got his name.
I don't blame you. I don't blame them for that. Like, I'm sorry if someone said Yogi, I'd be like, no.
I'm just gonna ask, where's your buddy Boo Boo Bear? Honestly,
I know, and he's like, God damn it, that question. Think of we were talking about West Virginia and Neil Brown and what he has to do to be secure. You're looking at the schedule here. I have a question because there's a team on this schedule right now. We're looking at it. It's right there on the screen. How long until Dave Aranda gets fired?
I'm still holding that Billy Napier ticket at plus.
Yo, that Colorado game was crazy.
Oh man.
Plus 340.
How do you piss away a game like that?
Well, not only that, they should have. They really. You know what's crazy about that is they should have completed the first Hail Mary attempt. That should have actually been a touchdown, and then somehow they completed on the second attempt. So they could. Yeah, obviously you don't get two chances at Hail Mary, but both chances should have been a Hail Mary. The first one should have been, and then the dude just didn't catch it, and then they still got it on the second attempt. It was crazy.
I'm sorry too. I'm going to straight up say, Colorado fans, hold on. Don't storm the field after you beat a shitty Baylor team.
Didn't they do the same thing? Didn't they do the same thing after Colorado State last year? Oh my God!
I believe they did. I think they did.
They definitely did. That field was swarmed. I don't know if I've ever seen more fans on a field after a game than I saw. They literally covered the whole field. There was not you couldn't see a blade of grass after they beat Colorado State.
But I'm sorry. After beating a really mediocre Baylor team like that, don't rush the field. I know you have nothing to celebrate about, and you know your team's done after this year because Dion, Hunter, and Shador are all gone. Yes, including the coach. Yes, he's gone. He's not staying at Colorado.
No way in hell.
So Colorado is going to become an absolute trash bag, dumpster fire.
They're already a
douchebag. It's going to be a dumpster full of douchebags.
Let me go on a rant real quick.
That's what it's going to become.
So I was totally buying into the Colorado thing when they brought Prime in. It made me feel good. It was a good story. You know, they bring in this guy. Everybody has energy. Yeah, I'm going to make some changes. He hurt a few feelings. Boo-hoo. But he went from the guy you wanted to root for, the team that was the good story, that was, oh, wow, great, to the laughing stock, to, oh, my God, we can't wait for them to fail, to, oh, my gosh, I'm so happy they're failing. So that's the transition into darkness that this thing has taken to make me just want to just throw up every time.
Yeah, I had no problem with him going into that initial meeting with the team and going, hey, we're making changes here. I had no problem with that. Immediately, though, he set up this, I'm being televised, I am being recorded, I'm being filmed.
Hey, I can't lie, man.
Just started from there.
I hate the way they act, though. That's just me. There's a weird arrogance about them that they haven't even earned. I can't stand it, to be honest.
That's the point.
And I wonder if Shador Sanders realizes how much money he's costing himself every time he opens his mouth. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
I can't stand Shador. I cannot stand him.
Oh man, Shador's a dickhead. Like the way, the way he
after that Nebraska game, bro, when he was just talking crap about his O-line, I was like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing you need to say in that,
you better be feeding that O-line and making them happy.
Well, the only thing you need to say in that is, hey, we're going to watch film and we're going to get all these things corrected. That's it, and shut your mouth.
Even if you know you've got a trash bag O-line that is never going to get good and will never protect you.
You don't say that publicly.
No, you don't say that. No. And I mean, like this. I mean, like I feel like both parties though have kind of gotten what they wanted out of this. Like Colorado was such an irrelevant dumpster fire. Like it's like, you know what? Let's get some buzz about this again. And Dion's like, cool. I'll get my couple superstar my kids. The couple of superstars that I've brainwashed into my cult. I'll get them. I'll get them a big stage. You know what? They can show their talent, and they have. Everyone knows. Like Travis Hunter's probably the best player in college football, and he's probably going to win the Heisman this year. I think he will.
I don't think he's not going to.
That
but,
stop he had was pretty good.
No, he's not. Look, but I'll tell you this though. This year is one of the most mid years of college football I've seen. I mean, most teams are in the middle. There's not really any teams besides maybe Texas. Maybe maybe
say it, Michigan, man. Say it.
But yeah, I mean, Michigan's in the middle too. I can't remember a year where there's this many teams just in the middle. Like all the teams that have been elite in the past. Notre Dame looks like trash. No offense to Oregon, they don't look elite like they've looked.
Yeah,
We'll see after this week.
Alabama no longer has Nick Saban. USC doesn't have a world beater at quarterback this year. Most of the teams that you would that would be just elite just aren't that this year. It's more. I don't know if it's more parity or what, but
it's a mixture of things. I think a lot of it's overranking and stuff.
There's one team that is elite that you are conspicuously omitting here.
Hold on. Okay. I got rid of that cocky shit over here. So let's move on. Once again, how long does Dave Aranda last until he gets fired? That was the whole point.
They better win against BYU next Saturday. That's all I can say.
Ooh, and that was a good segue.
Game.
That's a good segue into the BYU game. Because did anyone see BYU whooping the shit out of Kansas State?
Oh my God! Like that 90-yard punt return.
What is happening? I was like, K-State's got this in the bag, no problems. I come back here and there and I look at the game. I'm like, what is happening? BYU just demolishing Kansas State, 38-9.
Well, I mean, did you hear about that Kansas State guy that said he was going to shove a 5-layer burrito up his butt if BYU?
I did. I want evidence. I need proof.
He did.
For this.
I am unaware.
No, yeah, there was a tweet about it, and we need proof of this because
here
he said it was going to happen. I need video evidence, not live on air right now.
No. I'm sending private chat.
It's Sataki who said that.
I want to ask a question. Does this guy have any hats that are adult hats? I mean, his hat is always way too small for his head. Can
he has a big head? Why do you?
Can Nike get him a hat to fit?
Maybe he likes tight hats.
Oh, I mean,
hook him out. Hook him up. Get him set. What a great coach, though.
BYU was considered to be like maybe the worst team in the Big 12 coming into this year.
They're third tier. I picked them third tier on our show. I was totally wrong. I was wrong about Kansas.
I thought K-State was going to be one of the top. I thought K-State was going to be one of the top ones, but BYU just demolished them. And I love Sataki. I love Sataki. When Oregon interviewed Sataki to be the coach, I was kind of like, I'm okay with that, actually, if they were to have gotten Sataki. I actually was kind of like on board with it, but of course they didn't go that route, which is fine.
The thing is, I'll ask Shane this because is there any result, is there any team beating another team in the Big 12? Any result you could say that would be like mind-blowing, shocking, you could never see it happening?
I didn't think Oklahoma State was going to lay an egg, but
no. But I'm saying, is there one team in the Big 12 that absolutely could not beat any other team in the Big 12?
No, there's not. There's not. Even Baylor at the bottom. It was no surprise that game went to where it went. And Colorado was considered in the mid tier because Baylor is still a team that a few years ago was a top 5 team. So you can't tell me that culture and that the success just all withered away in now 10, 15 years, yes, that can happen to a program. But, Aranda, I don't know what the hell's going on there. I mean, they could mess up a wet dream down there. There you go.
Well, some would say their president already did. Ken Starr already did mess up one a while ago.
Yeah. Yeah, well, look at Navy, guys. Navy and Memphis. That was a fantastic game that no one would have been talking about, last week if they're doing like, oh, these are like shows I do are like these are some games I think are interesting. This one I'm not even going to watch. But because I worked at USAMA and, West Point's near and dear to my heart, guys, I love watching the service academies. Those kids know that it's very unlikely for them to go in the NFL. If they're at Army, they're undersized because they have to make height and weight 4 months after their season's over. You have to meet the Army standards in order to commission, or you just wasted your time. Then, but Navy, they have a little bit more leeway. The kids are a little bigger. Air Force the same way. But to watch a service academy beat Memphis, and Memphis the week before, who did they beat, boys? I'm trying to remember.
Florida State.
They beat some dung heap north.
Seminole, something called a Seminole. I have no idea.
Yeah.
So
some team where one of their fans said that he was going to eat dog poop out of a red Solo cup.
Well,
and I have yet to see that video either.
I don't think we're ever going to. We're going to be growing old waiting for that video.
I'm going to stalk that motherfucker.
Well, that video should be named two Stupid Fans, One Cup. And it would get lots of hits.
Hey, look, man, even Alex Orgy is better than DJU, okay?
I do agree. Shane and I agree 100%. I'm a 3-time combat veteran of the Army.
Yeah, we talked about that.
I mean, it's like, so I always watch the service academies when I can. Of course, Army go beat Navy, beat the fuck out of them. But it was the Memphis game with Navy. I was like, geez, what is going on?
Wow. Yeah, it was fantastic. There was
like, what's happening right now?
Because, guys, listen to me. When a team like Memphis gets hot and beats a top-ranked team, look at Northern Illinois, okay? It's like all the energy's out of their body. Like they just fought like the fight of their life, a heavyweight fight, and it's just the next team, they seem to lay an egg. Louisville did a few years ago. It just happens, especially with a team that's not elite, that has the 5-star, the 4-star talent, and there's a letdown. And Memphis played Navy. I don't think it was they let anything on the table. They played great ball. It's just Navy made a couple more plays at the end of the game, that interception. So it was like, who's going to have the ball last? Navy gets the interception. Midshipmen win.
Ooh, that's a good question from Hummus. Is Army Navy still going to be the only game after the conference championship games?
No, there's going to be a playoff game.
I was like,
no. There's going to be the playoff games are the next weekend, I think, aren't they?
There's the Camila Bowl and the Celebration Bowl.
But the point is,
so they're actually having bowl games the same day as the Army Navy game.
They're having it before and after the Army Navy game.
So the Army Navy game's now a bowl game, basically, right?
Yeah.
But Army and Navy can't play in the Camilla Bowl. I mean,
it's still its own standalone special event, though. It's still its own special event, I guess. I mean, I guess it just won't be solo only that weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And the Camila Bowl is going to have Max Belt Conference USA.
Oh, we lost Michigan, man. That's probably for the best. Okay, I'm going to disappear for a second. Can you guys talk about it, since you talked about Memphis taking out one team and the Navy taking out that team? And hold on, wait, here we go. Oh, well, he's back. But can everyone in the chat, can we give a oh my God, thank you. Apologies, I meant to start the show with this. Also, Merrimack, rest in peace. You lost to Maine 26-15 this last weekend.
And I mean, like, God, I mean, what happened at halftime there? I mean, we were not making up 15-6 at halftime, and then you just get
shut up. You didn't watch the game. You have no idea.
Oh, come on.
Shut up. Rip to Merrimack.
Dude, you have no idea, like, what I can do.
I do. I have it on my notes. It's up here. Oh, wait, there it is. Merrimack loses to Maine.
What-
It's just start the
what-
show.
That's
What sort? What? You have no idea what sort of pirate networks I have access to.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
I
Yeah.
was actually watching a live feed of the All 22. I could break the whole game down for you right
I'm
now.
so disgusted. I still don't remember how Merrimack started exactly, and we went for like 40 minutes over him, and now it's just a thing.
Somebody named Jason O brought it up.
Fuck Jason. Okay, let's go on. Hey everyone, golf club.
No.
Now that we're off Merrimack, we got that out of our system. I'm happy now. Golf club FSU.
Yeah.
You have a win now this season.
Yeah, okay.
But I mean,
Okay, I
but,
clap.
but I mean, can we give a thumbs up to Cal Twitter this
Oh
week?
fuck yeah!
Oh my god, they were on fire. I mean, like
Twitter.
FSU, you still have not won a game as far as I'm concerned because you lost the week on X. So bad.
Also too, Jim here. Merrimack is the Warriors. Warriors. But yeah, Cal Twitter has been just off the rails. Just some of the funniest, dumbest things I've seen.
Yeah, it's like I can see why you guys have the emission standard. You do like if this is what you're producing, you're doing something right.
Whoever took over the Twitter, or someone said, "Hey, let loose." Props. It's been some of those just like.
And I honestly, I didn't even know Cal really had football fans. I don't know.
Like the way Florida's
Oski has looked miserable for like over 100 years, and he finally looked happy this week. You know?
Hey, real quick though, I think we got to put out an APB for 10, man. Where has he been? Since has he posted a USC reaction? I'm just wondering. Like,
he's got the USC
right?
show on right here and now. It's called Trojan Family Therapy.
We don't need to be promoting the competition. We don't need to be promoting the competition right now.
I was looking for that post game, and I'm like, I said in Jackson thing, I was like, no post game. USC. But
hey, bro, you know that got hurt, right? Like, it's one thing to lose, but to lose to a team that had 32 yards passing, I mean, that's tough.
Oh, well, they're blaming the refs. They're blaming the refs.
Happened in the past 12. I'll tell you that much.
Oh God, no! God, no!
Welcome to the Big Ten. That soft crap don't work over here.
So what was the good thing for FSU? Because winning 14-9, sorry, not impressive.
They acted as if they beat the 1938 Rose Bowl champions Cal. They acted like they beat 1937 Cal, Aaron Rodgers and Jared Goff all in one place. I mean, the way they were their attitude has just been pissing me off all season.
Cal's play calling in that game was like, we're just not trying to lose this game, but they weren't trying to win the game.
Oh, Neil Brown.
Which was weird, which is really weird. That's Justin Wilcox standard, but this team seemed different this year. But then they do that, and I'm like,
yeah, I mean, it was like they were celebrating and acting like it was the biggest victory of the century. It wasn't. You beat a god-awful, pitiful Cal. I mean, not quite pitiful Cal, but a mediocre Cal team.
A mid Cal. Not a great Cal, not a terrible Cal. Just they're like an okay Cal.
And oh my God, like the players celebrating that victory. It's like you're not supposed to celebrate being 1-3. You are not supposed to do that.
You're not supposed to celebrate a win over Cal.
Oh my God, we beat the Cal Golden Bears.
And at home, it's not like you went on the road. Cal's the one that went across the country.
Exactly.
You know. Would FSU have won this game at Strawberry Canyon? Probably not.
I'm just like, yeah, and all we're hearing is, we beat Cal. Oh my God, brother. Yeah, we're the great. Shut the fuck up. the fuck up. You played like dog shit against Georgia Tech, Boston College, and Memphis because, oh, you're mad. You're mad. We get it. We've heard it all off season. We know that Kirk Herbstreit's an asshole, okay? We know that you don't like Kirk Herbstreit, okay? We get you got that little clown nose. You're obsessing over every little thing he says and does or doesn't say about you. You're more worried about that than you are about trying to build momentum in the 2024 season. Maybe use that Cal win to build some momentum, like, oh, I don't know, a magical thing called a winning streak.
Or like maybe actually try to recruit some people instead of just trying to be hyenas on the transfer portal every year.
I've
Like,
seen hyenas from the Lion King act better than them.
I mean,
And
like
they're
it's this. I mean, like we knew that this model that FSU's been pursuing the last couple of years really wasn't sustainable. Like, you can't just like hope that you can get like FCS players or MAC players to come down and dominate in the Power Four, or just,
Hey, man, look, the football gods were not happy about all that rhetoric they were spewing in the offseason, man. That's what happened, man.
Yeah.
Football guys said, hey, we don't like what you've been saying. We don't like that you've been saying you this fake champ. We know we know who the champ was, so there's that. So the football guys stepped in and started the season at 0-3, man.
Yeah.
I mean, could very easily have been 0-4, and yeah, I mean, like, the DJU experiment has to be over at this point, doesn't it? I mean, and this season is a lost cause. And he has no more eligibility. Like, he's just like, you know what?
You want to talk about a flop as a recruit, man?
You feel like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say he was like, wasn't he like the number one? He was like a top 3, top 2, maybe number 1 quarterback coming out of high school.
Yeah, he was a 5. He was a 5-star guy, and during that COVID season, he filled in for Trevor Lawrence and gave you a lot of optimism. Like, he played pretty well.
Oh, dude,
that was the best he ever played.
Yeah,
when he was a true freshman who didn't even have like a real camp to go through. He just showed up.
That dude is basically a one-hit wonder. He just is. I mean, that, like you said, Sean, he had one great game against Notre Dame, and everybody just threw the party before the horse.
Hey, you know who he remind me of? You remember when John O'Corn came in for Purdue in 2017, had a really good game, and then he was just the worst quarterback I've ever seen after.
Yeah, that was when Walton Spate got knocked out of that game, right?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was
Florida State. Like, good God. It's like, I don't think I'll be watching Florida State SMU because that's the same time as around Alabama, Georgia, Penn State, Illinois. So I mean I think I'll be fine there. It's like, if you want to torture yourself with Florida State, you go for it. So yeah. And we got a roll from Bama fan. And Clint Moses says DJU is cheats. Beavs had to limit their offense to special needs. Fans bed to run the ball more. Can't even spell his name. That's the question from 79 Steely Matt. So yeah, Florida State, they're a disaster. That's pretty much all there is to it about them. But well, where did everybody go? Oh,
I think they had to go take a pee break. You know, these just tie it a knot.
Oh,
like
I'm here.
like
I'm
we
here.
do.
I'm listening to your wisdom, Jackson.
Yeah. Spit the gospel, Jackson.
I'm doing my best. I don't have much gospel, but I'll do my best to bring it out of the brain cells. But
Hey, Jackson, you got a big game next week, man. You're the boogeyman. Or not, actually, no. You're the boogeyman for the team you playing.
Alabama's always
Georgia, yeah, because I mean Alabama, Georgia's gonna be huge.
always is.
And, yeah, but I will discuss more on it.
I don't oversell it, Jackson. Georgia, Bama.
Yeah,
not a big.
I'll discuss more on it Monday afternoon tomorrow with Johnny Burtz and Palmer Toms from Dodge HQ. So I won't spoil too much of my tape, but it's gonna be an awesome Saturday night for all of college football. But speaking of Florida, what was
Hey,
with
man,
Florida?
I'm still mad that y'all have.
Huh?
What happened? What'd you say?
Yeah, you got cut off. I think there. You're still mad that what?
Yeah, what was that with Florida, Mississippi State? Like, I'm still mad that was on ESPN. Honestly, it's like, you know what? Forget it. I'm not going. I have wasted words on ESPN's programming choices, but gentlemen,
I don't know why they don't fire Billy Napier, man. That's crazy.
I think they will. It's just a matter of when at this point. Like we don't know if it's going to be next week.
There's just I think most of it just has to do with raising the money to get pay for the buyout. Right now, at this point, I don't know if Florida's not quite as like well heeled, well financed as a lot of the other major programs in the country. So I think there's some reluctance among the donor base to actually raise the money that it would take to buy him out of his contract.
You think Urban Meyer might come back to Florida?
No,
I highly doubt. I really
Hey, I can see it, man. I can see it.
I don't think Urban's coming back to coaching at any level.
I think honestly Notre Dame should just waited for Urban Meyer. They should have just waited. It was another couple weeks. I mean, Marcus Freeman.
When are you talking about? Like
2021.
Urban Meyer got too much of an ego to have the last note of his career be Jacksonville, man. There ain't no way, in my opinion.
I know,
He's
right?
waiting for the right opportunity.
That's why I was like, Notre Dame should just, when Brian Kelly left for LSU, they should have waited for Urban Meyer. I mean, I get Marcus Freeman's a good coach and all, but he doesn't obviously get them up and going for the games that they should always win.
Yeah, I mean, like sometimes the emotionally satisfying choice is not the right choice. It's hard to believe that someone's first head coach. You think about this right now. Right now, the head coaches at Notre Dame, Michigan, and Ohio State are all in their first head coaching job.
Uh-huh.
None of them were ever a head coach before they were.
That's true. One of them got given the trust fund baby situation. I mean, we know who that is. But yeah, you're right.
How is he any different? He's been the one that's been actually successful as a head coach.
Well, yeah, I mean, like when you're given, your inheritance and the business is already set up for you. Yeah, I totally agree. But Jackson, I am.
Wait, did Jerome take over a team that had just won the national championship?
Yeah, but here I'll tell you the difference. And probably shouldn't go down this diatribe, but I got you real quick. The difference is, one, we haven't recruited well the last 4 years at all, so the cupboard is not as nearly as full as what Urban Meyer left Ryan Day. The coaching staff was pretty much all poached from Sherrone Moore. So is he in a better situation than I would say a lot of first head coaches? Yes, but it's still a sizable gap between what Ryan Day inherited. Yeah. But Jackson, I am jealous, man, that you took our safety, man, because he's balling with you guys. Keon Sad, man. Get
Yeah,
the ball.
ballroom blitz all the way. But yeah, I mean, like Sean, I think he said something about Oklahoma having a first-time head coach. That's the thing with Oklahoma; they always have first-time head coaches. Like we saw it with Bud Wilkinson, Barry Switzer, Bob Stoops. Like all their great head coaches have been first-time head coaches. Like that was
Yeah,
like the only school they were head coaches at.
Mhm.
That's the funny thing.
Yeah.
But
And like Kirby Smart's a first time head coach too, and
true.
I think most people believe he's the best. So it's a gamble, but a lot of times like you hire from within, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you get a great head coach, and sometimes you get someone who's in over their head. You know, sometimes you have someone who should have started at a lower level and learned how to build a program. It's not. There's no secret formula to all of this.
That happens with offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators. They're like a special teams coach, and all of a sudden, at like a mid-major school, and all of a sudden they're a defensive coordinator at like, a big name brand school. So I don't understand that. I can't comprehend it.
It happens. It does happen. More than maybe
Yeah.
people would like to do. I apologize too. I had to walk away. Where are we at right now? What were we talking about?
We were going over to Oklahoma, Tennessee. Nico Lima-Leva having a great performance against Oklahoma, but Oklahoma having a quarterback controversy of their own.
Yeah. What the hell was that? Oklahoma? What? I mean, you guys wanted your starting quarterback Arnold. You benched him.
Yeah.
And you put up 15 points. Then again, too,
It's crazy considering they let.
Then again, Tennessee, you put up 25 points.
Oh,
25-15 is an ugly score.
That's crazy considering they let their QB walk away and go to Oregon.
That was just a weird game. Everything
Yeah.
happened in like the first half and nothing in the second, like at all.
yeah.
Tennessee's
Okay.
scary though, man.
Oh,
That's a
yeah.
scary team.
They may. I don't know if they'll win the SEC, but there's no question that they are a playoff team. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They look like it.
I'm a little concerned about like their offenses seem so goddamn gimmicky. Like they've got these like extremely wide splits where they stack both receivers on each side. And it seems like one of those offenses that can like absolutely confuse and put up like ridiculous numbers against like bad competition, but doesn't necessarily scale very well. Like if a team has a couple of guys that can cover, that can just play man on the outside against you, like I don't know how this really works.
Well, if you remember,
we've seen this in a couple of their games in the past. Like when this offense doesn't work, it is dead. Like
if you remember in 2022 when they had a similar offense, they did well against pretty much everybody except for Georgia. But Georgia had a generational defense. So I don't know, man. I think they're scary. I think their defense is a lot better than it has been too. It's not just the offense. Their defense has really stepped up. It's a really good defense this year. And that's
kind of hard to say, though. I really don't know. I mean, like they've played like a lot of crap, and then they played Oklahoma, who's struggling offensively this year anyway. I mean,
I
know.
I think we're at that point. This is why the title of the show is "What Have We Learned So Far?" Because I think in this sense, for a lot of teams, you can say, "Okay, they're undefeated," blah blah blah. You still have question marks around these teams because you don't know: is their defense really good? Is their offense struggling? Is their offense really good? I think we still don't know about. I can say the same about Oregon. I'm like, hey, I need consistency. I've got to see 2-3 more games like Oregon State and go, all right, I'm comfortable.
Yeah, well, the thing is, when you play bad, when good team or when you play those very overmatched teams, you don't really take anything out if you blow them out. The only takeaways you have is if you struggle against teams that you should dominate. If you're struggling in areas against teams you shouldn't struggle with, those are really the key takeaways that you could take away. Because if you just blow them out, that's just a talent advantage at that point. But if you are struggling, like if you struggle to run the ball, if you can't move the ball, if your defense is giving up stuff or is an overmatched opponent, those are the takeaways for me.
That's true. That's true. It was just a 25-15. That's a disgusting score.
No,
that's a disgusting score.
I wonder if that would be a scoreagami. Does anybody know this term?
I think they can win it. I think they can win it all this year. That's just me, from what I've seen so far.
Did I want to know the sicko that actually guessed that score prediction correctly somewhere in the
Well,
back?
you know, a sicko that gets the right score for a stupid game would be, I guessed the exact score for the West Virginia game. Did you guys? Did you guess that score too, guys?
You're disgusting. You're disgusting.
For that one, for 25-15 game.
Yeah, that would be disgusting.
That's terrible.
Hold on. Where is
you guessed 32-28?
I did on my show.
How? Who puts up a number like 32 and throws that out?
No, I mean,
I have to double think my guesses when I do score predictions, and I will never come up with 30.
So, if you didn't and you just said like, "Hey, I told my buddies this was going to be 32-28," no way I would believe you at all. But you actually, there's documentary evidence of this. You say.
Yeah, it's last Thursday I said it, but I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but
let me see.
Joey,
find it.
I'm trying to find this game for the update. I didn't have it written down, and I apologize.
Like you know, that was close to that, but it had Kansas winning.
There it is.
And,
I do highly apologize. I didn't know how this game written down. I highly apologize. Another disgusting score.
No, Tennessee does run.
Look, I didn't have it written down. I'm sorry. I apologize, Erica. I should know better.
31-14, Iowa won against Minnesota in the 2024 edition of the Floyd of Rosedale.
That is right. That is 100% right.
And Caleb Johnson had a hell of a game in that game. He had 206 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, 21 carries. Are we ready to say Iowa has a sort of offense?
They have half of an offense for sure. Like they're running the ball freaking well right now.
Yeah, they're running it, but they're not passing that shit. They're not.
Don't they play Ohio State this year?
They play Ohio. They play Ohio State next, a week after, like next.
What's their schedule? What? Let's see what the.
I got it right here.
I got it.
Well, Jackson's on topic because he's already sharing screen. So
they come to Columbus the following week. So,
oh man.
Oh, and they're off this week too. Oh, okay.
So. Oh, they get to prepare.
All right, let's go Iowa, man. I believe in you. You got this.
Ohio State's in a trap because Oregon plays Ohio State.
Yeah, the next week,
the 12th or 13th. Yeah, so Ohio State's in a trap. That situation going to Iowa, then to Oregon.
Hey, and their front, Ohio State's front seven is vulnerable now. That front seven is vulnerable.
They're not that vulnerable.
You know who looked disappointed?
They rotated like 3 groups of defensive linemen this week, and they still held Marshall.
That linebacker room that's been downgraded from the last couple of years, man. From what I've seen,
Michigan State guys, I watched that game. That kid is talented, but 3 interceptions. 4 interceptions. I'm sorry. How can you come back from that? I mean, but with his feet, he's so athletic.
That guy, like he has so much goddamn talent.
18 years old, guys. Boston College looks pretty good.
Well, on the bright side,
they're a solid team.
They got an NFL. Look, NFL coaches are just better, bro. NFL coaches are just better.
Bill O'Brien.
Yeah, bro. NFL coaches, they're just better. I mean, even Ryan Day, I don't like the guy, but he was in the NFL for a while. Like those NFL coaches, they know how to scheme with what they got.
Well, but Bill O'Brien took Penn State out of their dark ages.
That's right.
Then he was OC at Alabama. Bill O'Brien knows how to coach.
I'd love to have him at West Virginia. Bill O'Brien.
Yeah. You're talking about Ohio State coaching legend.
Bill O'Brien takes mediocre talent, not mediocre talent, talented young athletic men that might be 3 inches shorter than what a 4 or 5 star would be, and he's coaching these Boston College players up, and they're playing good ball. And that's exactly the type of coach they need in Morgantown.
He's a good coach. I mean, he's not a bad coach. He'll
get an offer.
He's not an amazing, excellent coach, but he is a good, solid coach.
I think he's a solid B.
He's a really good schemer, really good
at the college level, he's only been a head coach. He was a head coach for Penn State?
2 years.
2012, 2013.
Yeah. And then now Boston College.
And then obviously he was with the Texans for a while. So honestly, he could end up being the book's still out. He could end up being a great college football coach.
He could be. We haven't seen it yet. He's been a solid, very good college coach, but we haven't seen him the next step. Now, Penn State was a whole different situation. Obviously, that was he was put in a hard spot, and he did really good work. He did really good work. He did
that might have been the hardest spot any coach has ever been in.
Yeah, no, he did great work for what he was put into.
And the thing I really appreciate about Bill O'Brien, from that season of Hard Knocks and a couple of the leaked telephone calls, that guy uses the fuck out of the F word. I mean, like no one has a higher F word to word spoken ratio maybe in the history of time than him. And
it might be me. It might be me.
Oh, you're a fucking liar, Ben.
Let's go on.
You can't fucking lie like Bill fucking O'Brien can.
Let's talk about this. So as Bill O'Brien is reinventing himself, so to say, his career evolving it as in the sense of his head coaching job right now at Boston College, whereas another coach, his career is coming to an end, I think, finally, as James Madison. James Madison puts up 70 on North Carolina.
Oh, they got
50. Was that the final score? 70?
70 to 50.
James Madison basically.
That's crazy. That don't even make sense.
Man.
It looks like a basketball.
James Madison.
How does a power 4 school give up 70 to James Madison?
I saw the score at halftime. I went, "What?
That don't even
hell is going on right now?"
During his presser, Mac Brown looked like he was going to have a stroke.
Yeah, at halftime it was like 52-20. James Madison at halftime.
That don't make no sense.
Oh man, James Madison. That was the most scored points in the first half in school history for James Madison. Like that North Carolina defense got manslaughtered in the first half. Like,
here's what I want to know: is that the most points? Because what are they? Are they? They're group of 5, right?
Oh yeah.
So is that the most points a group of 5 team has scored on a Power 5 team?
Until like 2 years ago.
It's gotta be, right?
Yeah. That's the record, I think, for a regular season game of all time, tied for it.
120? No, I do remember there was a Baylor West Virginia game that was
So what I'm saying is,
West
what I'm
Virginia-
saying,
no,
I
no,
mean,
West
records were a
West
group of
Virginia was
5
like 70
teams
and 53.
scoring
Well,
on a Power 5 team.
64.
The point is, you don't
Yeah.
have James Madison as good as they have been. You don't have them coming to your house as North Carolina, coached by Mac Brown, and give up 70
No.
fucking points.
And I mean, like anybody that watched that opening night game with Minnesota, like how is this team in a 70-50 game? Like it was a total rock fight against Minnesota. It was a total.
I mean, it wasn't like they just did everything insane. James Madison defense did a bunch of it. I mean, they threw for 388 yards. Their top rushing was only 99 yards, whereas North Carolina threw for almost 500 yards, but they had 2 picks, and one of them, I believe, was a pick 6, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but I think all those receivers asthma inhalers, because if you're running that much, you're taking a knee and puffing, because that was a track meet. Up and back.
Oh man.
Well, yeah. So each team went over 600 yards of offense this game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, the first quarter,
that could not have ever happened before.
The first quarter, it was 25-14 JMU. The second quarter, JMU put up 28 more in the second quarter. So by halftime, again, they had over 50 points to 21.
Let's talk about the stock. Like there's 3. Okay, you have North Carolina stock supposed to be so high, right? For college football realignment. Okay, Clemson laid a couple eggs. Their stock is not what we thought it would be, and the Seminoles, another ACC. Oh, they're so great.
Well,
Stock. So those teams are literally dropping deuces on the.
I'll say this about Clemson though. Clemson, outside of the Georgia losses, they've actually looked pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what?
Yeah,
what does that say? That too?
What else?
Yeah,
I mean, this is a lot about Georgia's defense, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what does that say at the same time? You know, it's like, that's why I say, what have we learned? Because it's hard to tell against these teams.
Honestly, we've learned it's time for the Matt Brown era to end.
I think it is. I think Mac Brown's finally lost it. No offense to Mac Brown. No offense.
Oh yeah, like honestly, hell, he can always come here at the Voice College Football, man. No doubt about it.
You have a seat.
He should have stayed on television. He was great at it.
Well, he can come on Voice College Football. Just set up a deal with Mark Rogers and get going.
Mac just needs to go kick back, relax, and enjoy himself. To be honest, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, like he is just. I'm one of those people too. It's like, God, if you don't like him, if you have a problem with him, then I have a problem with you. Like, yeah. I mean, like, come on. I mean, like, how can you not like this guy, and how can you not feel bad when it's that?
Now, did I laugh at him in Texas when Oregon beat him in his final game? You know, and it should have been way worse than it was. Did I laugh at him? Of course, but. I respect Mac Brown. He's a nice guy. You know, he doesn't talk crap about people. You know, he's just a nice guy. I get that. So I respect Mac Brown completely. Yeah. But he needs to just go. I think it's time for him just to go relax somewhere and join Jimbo Fisher and Ed Ogeron on some island fishing in a hammock somewhere, you know.
He should be on
have him do some like commercials for like some what like some old people products where like do some Metamucil ads or something. Like do some ads where he's on a cruise ship. Right there.
He's not even that type of guy. He's not even that type of guy that does ads or commercials. He's not even going to be that type of guy. He's just like,
he's made for that. He has the exact personality. He has the exact personality to say,
yeah.
What is he like? He's like 70.
Are failing you. Like,
How old is Mac Brown right
72.
now? He's like
73.
72, 73.
Okay.
I thought about 72, 73, somewhere in there.
73.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was
But
good.
I mean, like Matt Brown, he's just gonna retire, just go watch Matlock on the rocking chair and talk about the good old days and how bad these kids are these days and how to
no. There's no negative energy with Mac. He's not like that. Come on.
There you go. Hey, yeah. SEC football's got that great idea. He can join Voice College Football. Yeah, I mean, why sit in the rocking chair when you can come on the Voice of College Football, Matt? Come on in.
Well, and another great point. Why sit on your ass in a dying conference when you can join the All Coast Conference? I mean, the Atlantic Coast Conference, and be Stanford, who beats down the Syracuse Orange in New York.
Boy, how
you are all dying to see it. Stanford versus Syracuse. That's a conference game. We're getting into the nitty gritty here of college sports now.
Oh man, like A.O. Manor is
A.O. Manor's a monster, dude. That guy is insane.
Yeah, 79 Steely Matt was asking Bonanza or Gunsmoke rerun.
Gunsmoke all day. But I can watch
I will see Marshall Dillon whipping out that bitch slap. Like
I'll tell you what, it's on every day in my
I was watching like an episode the other day where there was one with Henry Dean Stanton on season 10 where he's trying to get him out of bed from being lazy and stuff. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do it. Now you go help me get this firewood out. Like, there you go.
Oh, Jesus. Sorry.
I'll tell you, that's what North Carolina needs. They need Marshall Dillon. Just resurrect his ass to just get him on that defense just to give out the backhand to the quarterback. Be like, what?
The rifleman's good, too.
There you go. There you go. Bring out Lucas McCain. Oh, Lucas boy. Are you okay there, Lucas boy? Lucas boy.
Yeah, Io Manor didn't even have that great of a game in this one, but his catches when he needed to were, as usual, just ridiculous. I mean, I'm sorry. These are those box scores of these games this week where you see the scores; they're so close. Like this was with a 26-24.
Which game were we talking about?
Stanford, Syracuse. Stanford had 178 passing yards. Syracuse had 339. How in the hell is this game only a 2-point game on the last second field goal?
I don't know. At the paper, I mean,
but like
interceptions help. But both quarterbacks had 2 picks. Both quarterbacks had 2 picks. So
depends on what yard line the interceptions were.
It was, but it's just one of those weird stat lines. Both teams 5 for 14 or 5 for 13 on third downs. Stanford was 2 for 2 on fourth downs. I guess that's also part of the difference. But it's like it was just one of those weird stat line games where you're like, how was it a 2-point game?
Oh yeah.
I mean, Kyle McCord did some Kyle McCord things in this game. A lot of people were making over him after he lit up a completely depleted Ohio U team.
So with the season being where it's at, what do you boys? Let's go through each conference and what are the surprises and what's the pecking order look like right now? Like SEC is the easiest one, so let's talk about it first. Georgia, Alabama, and then everybody else.
Texas and Tennessee are in there.
Texas and Tennessee are in the conversation now.
For me,
I would say you say Georgia, and you'd have like 1A, 1B, Georgia, Alabama right now, and then one you could say 2A and 2B of Texas, Tennessee, and even C of the next or something like that. It's that tight. It's kind of that close right now.
Yeah. I want to see Texas win one more game And I want to see Tennessee win one more game.
I want to see what Ole Miss can bring in a big game. I don't want to see any more bullshit cupcake games. I've seen enough of it. I've seen enough what you can do on the CW. Now I want to see what you can do, what you haven't done since 2008. Beat LSU in Baton Rouge.
Whoa. How
But
dare you
like-
say the CW to make fun of the Oregon State Beavers? I'm sorry, Clint. That was very rude of Jackson to bring up the CW. How dare you?
Hey, man, Corvallis is a great little town. So's Eugene.
Yeah,
but-
I'm not making fun of Oregon State. I'm just making fun of Ole Miss for beating up on Wake Forest. They were acted like Bruce Dern on that Gunsmoke episode where he was making Louis the drunk crawl for his drink. That's how bad they treated Wake Forest.
And in the SEC,
saw that
you can't count out. I guess technically you can't count out LSU right now. But we need to see more.
Okay.
No,
on
LSU's
LSU.
not even in the conversation because they've been so spotty. You know,
Yeah,
they,
Those
Yeah.
Monday appearances
That's
on the Paul
fair.
Feinbaum show are not working.
Yeah,
That's not.
that's fair. We need to see more, but they aren't like completely blowing it. You know, I mean, they had a shot to blow it against. And I was about to highlight that too. Say
sorry, my bad.
Washington. No, you're good. I was about to highlight that for Washington State looks good, and
they
I was
do.
going to agree. The problem is Washington State and Oregon State don't have a conference title game because they're not involved with them. They are in the Mountain West, but they're not. So they actually don't have a conference game. That's kind of the problem with Washington State right now because Washington State actually has played pretty
They
good.
played Texas Tech top. Yeah,
Yeah, they beat the hell out of Texas.
yeah, they put it on them.
It's like they beat the hell out of them.
They made them crawl out of the bars. What they did.
Let's go with here. What? Matt Ritson. What think? I'm guessing. What do you think? Washington State versus Boise State. Stanford ass kicked by Clemson.
Boise should be a pretty significant favorite in that game.
I would think.
Struggling.
Is
Boise
that?
State does not look. The shine is not there anymore, boys. for
Well,
Boise
is that
State.
is it at Boise State? I don't.
Yes, it's at Boise State on Fox Sports.
Ooh, I think Boise State will be favored for good reason. Just lean on your running back. Gentry is that guy's a beast, dude. That guy's a monster.
I'll take Washington.
And they've always played more like a Power 5 program than a Group of 5. Like they've always been kind of like, you know, man up, like play physical football than other G5 schools that, you know, try to be a little more gimmicky, try to like mask their physical deficiencies. You know.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
Stanford, if they can.
Oh,
Jackson's loading. He's
never,
loading. That's Alabama internet right there. Is loading. The Stanford with and someone's changing shit.
Oh, I clicked that by mistake because I was trying to.
I was like,
reach
who's
something.
changing things?
Son of a gun. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I can pull it right back up. Stanford versus Clemson. I haven't even seen this on the schedule. I need to look at it, but I think Clemson might get surprised by Stanford just because Stanford is that pain in the ass team that the Pac-12 had to deal with, Oregon especially. Welcome ACC. Now you get to deal with them.
And you do wonder if Clemson might be a little full of themselves coming off of that like demolition.
Yeah,
Maybe, yeah. Because they do play. They play the 28th. Is it at Clemson?
I think it is. I looked this up earlier. I'm pretty sure it is.
That is a dick move by the ACC. Make Stanford go to at Syracuse, and then the next week at Clemson. Dick move, ACC. Dick move.
Do you think they're bringing them all the way? They probably are. They're probably bringing them back home and then
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm sure they did. I'm sure immediately after that game, they probably got on a plane and flew out, and then they're going to go back like 4 days later, 4 or 5 days
I was going to say, if they were relatively close, like maybe they would just stay out there for a week, but probably not.
That's a dick move, ACC. Dick move. But
Yeah.
Stanford is going to be a pain in everyone's side because that's just what Stanford loves to do to everyone. They love to just fuck everyone.
Clemson's going to smoke them.
Not probably. They probably will. But Oregon should have smoked them multiple times, and Stanford held them to 17 points. So
yeah, but that's the Pac-12, man. Hey, don't worry, Oregon. Oregon's going to find out what that tough football really like, man. They in the Big Ten now. Okay.
Oh, I know. USC found it out after their whole. USC found it out after they're like, "Is the Big Ten ready for our strength and shit?" And then they lost. And UCLA has been a joke. Washington's and not surprised by Washington, but you know.
But has Washington played a Big Ten game yet?
They beat Northwestern.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I saw.
24-5.
Yeah, they did beat Northwestern at home.
Yeah,
so I'll give them credit for that. They did actually put up points on Northwestern, so I'll give them some props for that.
24
What's their next
points.
What's Washington's next Big Ten game?
They're going to play Nets Friday against Rutgers on
Rutgers.
Rutgers is going to smoke.
Rutgers.
You know, you talk about the Michigan team rebuilding. This Washington team is a shell of what they were last year.
Jed Fish will get it if he stays there. He'll get it right. But yeah, when you lose literally like 3 NFL receivers, a quarterback, and all the other talent around, that's a rebuild. I mean, I'm sorry. Erica, is there a Brian Kelly gif of him banging his hand on the table after losing to USC?
No, but we got him acting like a creepy old man.
Yeah, we have multiple Brian Kelly gifs. We just don't have that specific one. I'll click one and I'll let you do it with Jackson too.
There we go. Whoa, Nelly.
That's not Brian Kelly.
Nope.
No, that is not Brian Kelly. I'm sorry. There you go. There's head exploding.
That's nuclear Kelly.
This is the cringiest shit, bro. Like when he did this.
I hate this one. This is scary to me. Yeah,
it's just he panders like crazy. Like it's crazy. Like when he did the Southern accent at the basketball game, I was like, bro, what are you, Hillary Clinton? Like, what are we doing here, man?
Hillary Clinton. Oh, God.
Ouch.
Yeah, I don't like it when folks, put on the accents,
Well, that's also Kamala Harris.
Yeah, she does. She's really
This
bad.
is not a political show, though, people. So watch.
No, but that's just we're just saying what we observe. But even like people that move away from Pittsburgh and then come back and try to put on the accent, it seems a little bit forced.
Yeah.
People.
You're not going to get extra pierogi because you're saying yuns, okay? You're not going to get extra pierogi on your plate when you're at the fair because you're.
I think it makes you look worse. It's like you clearly don't talk like that. I mean, like you're just doing that because you're in front of a certain audience. I mean, what are you doing?
Exactly. It's what it is. I mean, that was cringe as shit when Brian Kelly did the Southern accent. I was like,
"What's that move called? I lost my contact."
I was like, what?
No, that's the Pulp Fiction move. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, this is a good question.
The Uma.
Using the fishing line one.
This is a good question. Who lasts longer, Brian Kelly or Marcus Freeman?
Yeah. I would say
Brian Kelly.
Freeman.
No,
I was going to say
Marcus Freeman has two really bad losses.
Yeah.
Like really bad. He's got the Marshall loss in Northern Illinois. I mean.
But the program stayed like solidly like top 10. I don't think the expectations are quite as high.
I mean, again,
And
remember LSU did
plus,
fire
plus
their national.
Brian Kelly is old.
LSU
He's been
LSU
around.
fired Ogeron after a year, after like 2 years after winning a title.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
LSU,
they beat
this LSU team seems like it's headed to 7-5'sville pretty
I
quick.
feel like Brian Kelly is kind of like Jimbo Fisher, where everybody's hyping him up. He's that Nets coach that's gonna bring that net, which everybody said that, but well, a lot of people were, but now they're just kind of like, okay, we fell for this crap.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
if
he had a
anybody,
promising first
It's
year.
interesting too because he is kind of like in that tier of coaches which are like really really good, but just good enough to be shitted on by everyone because like they don't build anything quite elite. I mean, I grew up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is where Brian Kelly's career got started at Grand Valley. And I'm from Cincinnati originally, so I followed him there. He's fantastic. Like he's done such a good job up until this point in his career, and it's just not working.
You know, when it gets
his personality is not going to win anyone over. So
yeah, when you get to the upper tier, you know, if you have any little fault, it's just you know, it's just magnified to the nth degree. But he has had a fantastic career, and I think that I think some of those jobs he took, he probably shouldn't, weren't good fits, and that kind of makes it harder. Because once
I think it's just this one. He's been a mega hit everywhere he's been.
Well, he's only hasn't he only coached at one? Wait, how many Power 5 programs has he coached?
2.
Notre Dame and LSU, right?
Cincinnati.
So I would say 2.5 because Cincinnati was 2.5. They were a Big East, which was technically a power program.
It could be
2.5. Go with 2.5. That's fine.
It could be the case that he was just really good at Notre Dame, and then he goes to LSU and he's still good, but you know maybe Notre Dame was more
but
he
wasn't good enough at Notre Dame. He didn't.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Look, not everybody's Nick Saban, Jim Harbaugh, Kirby Smart. Not everybody's that. You know, not everybody is just plug in and then they just turn it around like those coaches. I mean,
and I mean, like you follow Brian Kelly's career. He was, you know, it was Grand Valley, Central Michigan, Cincinnati, Notre Dame. I mean, like everything was within like a really tight circle in the country. Like he's from the Northeast, but he was a Midwest coach. Yeah. And then, you know, it's just like, you know what? Can I just export, you know, can I just upload this, you know, down to the South? And yeah, it hasn't been as successful.
But in fairness too, I mean, again, there are those coaches that they seem like they will excel and get the pinnacle and they just never reach it. And unfortunately, that's what Brian Kelly was at Notre Dame, and that's not entirely like his fault.
No,
but at LSU, there is a higher expectation. I mean, you think of all the great college coaches over the years at different teams that have they've accomplished a lot of things, like Brian Kelly did at Notre Dame, for instance. I mean, look at Chip Kelly at Oregon. He was this close to a fucking national title.
Mm-hmm.
Rich Rodriguez.
He won some, you know, New Year's Six bowls.
Yeah.
But didn't win a national title. Well, Brian Kelly got fucking smoked in the title game. You know, and he's lucky he didn't face Oregon. He would have got smoked that year too if it wasn't for Alabama. You know, he would fucking Stanford. Fuck you, Tree. Fuck you that year.
Yeah, Notre Dame was like they not only got smoked by Bama, but they would have got smoked by Ohio State or Oregon. I agree.
Yeah. I don't know. That Ohio State team in 2012 was not.
You still would have. I think you would have stomped them. They were not. They were that team that showed up for those games but then when it really mattered, they just kind of flip flop.
They
Brian
also were the beneficiaries.
Wait,
of
2012 Ohio State's the
of
team
some-
that lost to Michigan State, right?
What? No, we're talking about the Ohio State team the year before, in 2012.
Yeah.
That was
Isn't that
before.
the-
Oregon
the
would
team
have
that went
smoked.
12-0.
Oregon would have
Well,
smoked.
but they went 12-0. Like
That Ohio
I'm
State
I'm
team
sort
was
of
not that
grateful
great.
that they were ineligible for the national title because that would have been
Because that team was not that great. If we're keeping it in the book, they went 12-0, but that wasn't elite at 12-0.
No, it was not.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
not. It was not an elite. They had a million flaws that
That
year.
was the
They had to
year.
pull
That
out
was the
multiple
year.
OT
That was the
games
year. It
against
should
bad
have been.
teams, like-
Yeah,
That was the year. It
Kurt
should have been
Revere.
Oregon, Kansas State for the national title. But on the same night, number 1 and number 2, Oregon and Kansas State lost at home to Stanford and
Oklahoma.
TCU.
TCU.
No.
no, it was
Kansas State lost to Baylor that night.
Baylor.
Yep.
That's what it was.
Mhm.
So that was your. So we got the Fiesta Bowl rematch for the national title. Well, Alabama smoked.
But yeah, did we mention a little bit about PJ Fleck tonight? Did we mention a little bit about?
Well,
PJ
you gotta
Fleck,
remember.
dude. What?
Hey, real quick before we move on, you gotta remember, Teo's head was kind of messed up from his girlfriend situation. His girlfriend. So, I don't know how much. Of a
Yeah,
that was.
Yeah,
God.
that was a dude
Oh,
masquerading as a little lady on a dating app. That's wrong.
Oh,
You know,
God. Cringe.
this is why you don't go. If you're dating, you don't go use dating apps. You meet people like normal people.
I mean, it's crazy he even did that. I mean, he was one of the best players in the country. I mean, he could have got with anybody, really. He could have went to the local pub or whatever and probably picked somebody up.
Yeah, we're not going to go into the whole online dating thing. The point is, his story was
we will focus on
his story was so fucking bizarre. Like,
Yeah.
dude,
There's like a whole Netflix documentary about
Exactly,
him.
yeah.
Go watch it.
That's what
Go watch
Netflix
it,
is for. Voice
Go
college
watch it. We're not
football
gonna.
after dark is where you're
Come on,
here
dude.
to. We're here to be
Guess what?
discussing.
What I found was so funny about that was Marquez Tuiasa Sopo's cousin, right? That was catfishing him.
Yeah, to Uncle Rico. I've online dated too before that, and at that time frame. He's gullible as fuck. That man, mind somewhere in the way back then was not right. Like, what the fuck, dude? Anyways, moving on. Oh, that's a hardly that thing. Mizzou surviving
They're
Vandy.
overrated.
Scare from Vanderbilt. I was like, go Vandy.
I feel
Go.
like
Mizzou is not a top 10 team. I'm sorry.
No.
If Vanderbilt,
I don't even think
is
Missouri's
scaring
the
you.
top 15 team. They're that bad.
No, I agree.
They're a good team, but are they really like that high ranking?
Could they handle a Utah? No. Could they
Ooh.
handle an Ohio State, a Michigan, or an Oregon? No.
Well, hold on. You said they couldn't handle Ohio State.
Oregon
I
one,
think they
I will
handled
leave
them
out.
pretty well, actually, last year.
But that was an Ohio State team without its full.
I know. I
And-
just had to go to that.
Yeah, and that was that Missouri team last year was really good. This year, I will say Oregon, Missouri would be a very fascinating game. I could see that being like a 3-point game at a neutral site right now. I don't know who's better, who's worse, but Vandy. So is Vanderbilt better than we think they are, or worse than we think they are, or is Missouri better or worse than we think? This is the whole point of the show.
What do we know about Missouri? Honestly, that's what I think. But what do you think, gentlemen?
I don't know. I mean, like, is Vanderbilt just going to be this team that's halfway decent when you expect nothing from them, and then when you do, because it was like Clark Lee, his first year he took over like probably the worst Power 5 program in America, and probably not probably, like definitely the worst. and then he got them kind of respectable. They were competitive. And then the next year, we're expecting them to do something to take a jump. And they lose to Hawaii week 0. And and everything falls apart from them.
Well,
and they look like crap. And no one was expecting anything from them this year. And then they go and spank Virginia Tech week 1. I don't know. I mean, like, it's just a Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt can only be good when you don't expect them to be. I mean, they can only be okay when you don't expect them to be anything.
Yeah, but I mean, again, they had a shot to take this game. It was overtime, and they missed the field. They missed the field goal, or it was blocked. I don't recall. Right off the top of my head, it was one of the other points.
No,
Good. So they lost 30-27 in overtime.
But Buffalo's not that bad, and BC's not that bad. So that's dependent.
I think it is. Missouri's not that great.
Yeah.
No,
and Vandy is just Vandy. I think that's where we have to lean to. Yeah,
Vandy is really down this year.
Yeah, Missouri got pretty lucky against Boston College as well this year. The final score does not indicate what it really was.
Yeah, I'm sure if you looked at it on paper, it looked like Boston College won because as it looked at the eyeball test when you watched it,
Yeah. I actually kind of had Boston College. I kind of wanted to pick Boston College to win that game, but it was tough to pick it on the road. That was kind of the only No, we are talk is Pitt. We already talked Pitt.
That was the first 15 minutes.
That was like an hour and 45 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Back to the beginning.
Good to see you on here, Talkus, but how you been?
How you doing, good buddy? That's pretty awesome to see you, man. But Missouri, they're gonna get bailed out by their easy schedule.
Oh yeah.
Well, Utah is a good team that has a manageable, not too difficult schedule, but they're good. Like I was giving them crap because I thought, well, they just have an easy schedule. Everybody's blowing sunshine up my butt. No, I take that back. They're legit. So
Utah, and I'm sorry, is Cam Rising going for the 10th year of eligibility?
I'll say this more important than Cody Schrader last year was a few really key pieces defensively. Darius Robinson, Chris Abrams, Drain, and Rakestraw. Those are very important pieces defensively. As well as the defensive coordinators now at LSU, Brett. I can never remember his name.
Oh fuck! What is that guy's name? I literally just heard it earlier again. I can picture. I see his face even on the sideline.
So I mean, like, Missouri has been this program since they joined the ACC or the SEC. Excuse me. They just seem to rise up every 4 or 5 years and have a really nice season, and then they retreat to the dungeon of mediocrity that they are more comfortable with. So I mean, it's just they're not an elite program, and to really have high expectations of them is to set yourself up for a disappointment.
Oh no, and when it was talked about here with Shane and Utah, is Cam Rising going for his 10th year of eligibility? Everyone talks shit about Bo Nix. Cam Rising is literally in his 7th or 8th year of eligibility.
Yeah,
he's injured again.
Wilder.
Utah is still a good team.
Yeah.
And I think they can. I literally, after seeing so far the Big 12 this year, outside at this point maybe BYU, but Utah already,
Let's see if BYU.
Utah is pretty. I think Utah is in a good position.
I want to see BYU Utah be an unbeaten battle on November 9th.
Oh, the Holy War, the unbeaten Holy War. Let's go.
Yeah, that would be awesome for all of college football if that happened.
But is there a conference that's just as up in the air as the Big 12? I don't think there is.
No.
Maybe the ACC kind of
Ooh.
figure.
There's never been a conference as up in the air as the Big 12 is.
I
Yeah.
do agree with Shane though. ACC and the Big 12, I think, are the two where you're like,
Right.
I have
But
no clue.
the ACC has some real garbage
You have
teams.
some,
And,
you have
and some,
Yeah, but so does the Big 12.
no, they don't. Who cares?
The point is, it's a toss up. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to
yeah, but the
happen.
garbage teams are competitive with the other garbage teams.
Well, I know, but watch Stanford go in and crush Clemson this weekend. You'll be like, okay, yeah, the ACC. Who knows?
Yeah.
But okay, yeah, like Houston's bad, but outside of them, I mean, like
Fair. That's
TCU.
fair.
But Houston played Oklahoma
fair.
close, fairly close, respectable. Houston was a close game against Oklahoma. It wasn't too bad. It was what?
oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I forgot. Yeah,
Of
of course. Yeah, that was into the fourth quarter. That game was in doubt. Yeah, so
You know,
I retract my my statement from a few minutes ago.
you know, look at Iowa State. Everyone had like the preseason prognosticators had Iowa State in the bottom of the Big 12. So Joey and I both are high on Iowa State, and that was one we hit the nail on the head. Now Kansas we thought was higher than they were, and they've laid an egg, but they're still a potent offense, and their defense can be stingy when they need to. He just had an interception, and it just they shit the bed kind of like West Virginia did last week. That happens. But Kansas can beat a lot of good teams. Kansas State is the one that just blows my mind that they lost. I'm pulling
I don't know what's happening with Kansas State because if you had to ask me before the season who wins it, I said Kansas State.
Yep.
I thought it was in pure lock.
You know what cost Kansas State letting Will Howard go. I mean,
you watched that bowl game, and Avery Johnson, he looked fucking great. He was exactly what Kleinman wants as a quarterback, and I was like, dude, this is the guy, no problem. And something has gone wrong. Something has gone wrong since
they don't let him throw anymore.
Yeah, it's
like
something
they literally don't. Like they're just like, okay, he went and he shined in that bowl game, and now we're just going to turn him into Alex Orgy.
That's true too. I'm sorry.
Alex Orgy. We don't know. He can't have been Cam Newton for all I know.
You guys have no quarterbacks. Your quarterbacks are trash. I'm sorry, 100%.
Hey man, TBD, man. TBD.
Kansas State. Yeah, because we saw Oklahoma State. They, like you said, Shane, they laid an egg in another big game. They can't blame this one on Texas or Oklahoma now.
No, they can't. And Gundy's a good coach, but he can't. There's like one hiccup every season that he just can't overcome. He can't put it together, put a streak together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Ollie Gordon seems to have been sloppy so far this season. The stats are atrocious.
Yeah, I have to look at that. Like, I'm interested to watch the Oklahoma State tape and stuff. I want to see if there's something different in the scheme because I mean, like he was a dynamic. He was so dynamic last year. It was just How do you go from what he did last year to what he's been producing this year?
Oklahoma State has been, a pass heavy a lot, and then they became more run heavy over the last multiple years.
Oh, several years. It's been a while.
Even against like Arkansas.
Yeah.
There was no reason. There was no reason they should have ever won that game.
No.
So I want to ask you boys this: as a West Virginia fan. And the sky was falling after the Pitt game. They eke out a win against not a terrible Kansas team, even though they had 2 losses. And you see this week in the Big 12, you have Oklahoma State looks beatable, and they are beatable. They lost. Kansas State, who looked like they could not be touched, was actually beatable. Those are teams that are on West Virginia's schedule in the next few weeks. All of a sudden, things look a little brighter in Morgantown.
Yeah.
And like Dumb and Dumber, you say there's a chance.
Yeah.
So
Well, the
How
thing
dare you?
about
How
West
dare you? How dare you, Tony?
Everyone has that hope.
well, that hope is actually is plausible now because the quarterback play is a little bit more stable at West Virginia. The defense is still porous, but shored up a few times against Kansas. But, they still got to play. They get Kansas State at home. They travel to Oklahoma State, which is terrible. Iowa State at home. So the Oklahoma State is a big deal. If they could manage to win that, or even if they lose that, the other games are more manageable. Arizona, they travel to Arizona. That's going to be a nightmare. Arizona's played everybody tough this year. I don't know what kind of Arizona team they have. I don't know if it's good, bad, but it's respectable. The games that Arizona's played, they've been in against their opponents.
Hey, don't forget, Shane, you do have to come to Nippert on the banks of the Ohio River here.
Yeah, but that's a mediocre.
I don't know if I've told Shane this, but like my grandfather played for the University of Cincinnati. I'm a diehard Bearcats fan.
Yeah, but that's a beautiful Cincinnati. They're mediocre.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Look at the intimidation factor. Those other teams look to be a lot more. I'm like Cincinnati in 2003. Rich Rod took a Cincinnati team, or went to Cincinnati and lost 15 to 13, and it was like one of those ugly scores. Well, it was an ugly game, and I wanted to send my diploma back to West Virginia. I was so pissed. But Rich Rod turned the corner, and the next year they became a juggernaut, a top 5 team for 4 years. So, sometimes it takes that ugly game, and the next game they lost to a number 2 Miami team by 3 points. And then 2 games later,
I remember that game.
So they beat a Virginia Tech team that was like number 2 or number 3 at Virginia Tech. So, sometimes a shit game gets the team turned around. That might be with Miami, or not Miami, but what happened with Pitt. But that happens. Oklahoma State could have took a dump last week.
We both had shit games against Pitt this year.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
that's
again, that's the whole point of the show is what did we learn? Because Oregon had 2. Well, one really shit game. Boise State, I think people underestimate how good Boise State actually is. And then we demolished Oregon State to the point where now they're calling to not have the rivalry anymore because it was so embarrassing.
That's terrible.
Now we're on a bye week. So again, I need consistency. What have we learned? We don't know at this point for a lot of teams. It's still kind of like I need more data, Yeah. I need more film and stuff. What I don't think we need film of, well, actually we need more film of this too. Did Nebraska just choke or
God.
What happened? The Fighting Bielamas. The Fighting Bielamas.
What are you going to do?
31-24 overtime at Nebraska. Oh, man. I didn't get to watch that game. I did not watch that game. So,
I mean, Nebraska has, I'm convinced, the greatest fans in the history of sports.
Oh, yeah. They are definitely. Let's put at least they are top 5 greatest sports fans. They are definitely top 5. Let's put it that way.
I mean, does anybody deserve to have their heart broken this much? I mean, you think you're this good, and oh my Lord.
I think
every single time you get your hopes up for this program, I mean, this is what happens.
I think their second year is still going to be a little better than last year for Matt Rule, but the third year is where we're going to see the big jump.
I think so. I mean,
Nebraska?
You have seen a huge improvement.
I
From
think Nebraska's going to beat Ohio State.
Ooh,
That
In
would be
Columbus.
something.
In Columbus.
Sean.
What?
No one said Oregon had a shot in 2021 either.
No.
So we had Anthony Brown as our quarterback. I remember.
Hey, I just think Dylan Raiola is him.
So no.
Yeah, Dylan. Former Buckeye recruit.
Oh yeah. Oh, you doing that? Come on. You guys can't even claim your own guys, man. Come on.
Jackson,
Julian Sand's going to be better. Julian Sand's going to be better.
I can't get with that, man. I think Dylan Raiola. He giving me Pat Mahomes vibes, man.
Oh, Dylan Raiola, yeah, he's cool.
Well, he's trying to. He is doing his best.
He's trying and succeeding though. Like he's amazing, bro. His arm angles and he's so good.
Yeah. Well, see, though, he played for 4 different high schools and committed to 3 different colleges.
Is this Nebraska schedule?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, so let's go
I was interested. I was really hoping that Nebraska and Indiana might be both undefeated at that point because, the Hoosiers are a team we haven't talked about tonight, and maybe we should pay a little bit of attention to.
So I think Nebraska is going to be undefeated going into UCLA.
Well, they're not undefeated now.
No, I mean undefeated since their loss going into UCLA. Yeah. So I think they'll be undefeated going into UCLA.
Wait. You think they might beat Ohio State at home and lose to UCLA on the road?
Yeah, because it's a trap game because they got USC the next week.
No, they don't have them the next week. They have a bye in the next week.
Oh, they got a bye. Okay, no, then USC will be their next test.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think
obviously, obviously I'm trolling. I'm trolling.
Obviously. You gave up the gig a little early there. We could have kept this rolling for a little. This bit rolling for a little bit. Jackson, can you roll up their schedule a little bit? Can you?
Oh, my team schedule.
Yeah. No. I was just saying, can stay on Nebraska. You just scroll up a little bit. Here. So they've got at Purdue. I mean, like you think that should easily be a win, but I mean, the way Nebraska's been the past several years, I don't know.
Rutgers and Indiana are both tests for Nebraska.
Yeah, they're very, very much test. Absolutely. I thought there was a really good chance that both of them would be undefeated until.
Nebraska probably should have won that Illinois game, if we're being honest. But
it was a tight game. I mean,
it was, but he missed that wide open touchdown, man.
Now let's take a look at Illinois and see what their path is like because I'm not sure if they're for real. I'm really not sure if they're for real or not. But that Altmaier, he seems like I don't think he's uber talented or anything, but he seems like he's just smart and sort of a gamer competitor type. So let's see.
Jackson, scroll to the top there.
Yeah, a little bit here.
There you go.
Okay, so they've got their schedule's pretty brutal. They're at Penn State this week. That's probably an L. I don't know.
Oh, this is Illinois schedule. Okay.
Yeah, Illinois. Yeah, can you scroll a little bit? So, yeah, then they have a bye and then home against Purdue. Yeah, that Michigan game's interesting. I think Illinois kind of matches up well with them because I think Illinois is a salty, physical run defense.
Michigan's defense is too good. They're not gonna be able to move the ball. But
I think that game's going to be super low scoring. I would save up and bet what you have on the under in that game because they're not going to set that line low.
well, here's my theory with that game, man. I think Alex Orji, he's going to develop into an okay passer by that time to alleviate some of the threat or some of the stacking of the box. I think that game's will probably end up like 45-10, Michigan.
45-10.
Yeah, because they're going to start giving Mullings the majority of carries. I think by the end of the year he'll be considered the best back in the Big Ten, in my opinion.
Well, it's interesting that Illinois Michigan's going to be on the 100. This is the 100th year anniversary of the Red Grange game. That's going to be interesting.
That's that is interesting. So so until Northwestern, they don't have a game that looks soft at all here. I mean,
well, let's go to Nebraska's schedule. Or do you already do that?
Go back. Yeah.
Did we already do Nebraska's schedule?
We skimmed over Nebraska's, but yeah.
Hey, we already did this one. We good. Okay, let's see this. They got Michigan State. Ooh.
No. Whose schedule are we looking at here?
This is Ohio State.
We'll get to the.
Oh, that's a brutal stretch. Go back up.
That's Ohio State's schedule, right?
I know, but go back up real quick. That's a brutal stretch right there. Scroll back up. You got Iowa, Oregon.
Bye week.
Well, you guys have 2 bye weeks. What the hell?
Everyone has 2 bye weeks,
but
yeah, because this
so
year,
you got Iowa, Oregon, Nebraska, then Penn State. That's brutal.
Yeah, but Penn State, they'll smack Penn State's bottom.
No, I got Penn State.
Man, I mean, like it is a little rough that both Oregon and Penn State are on the road. I mean, like those are get up games for both of those teams.
Yeah. Hey man, Ohio State might go 1-3 in that stretch.
Oh no! Stop.
Wait, scroll back up to that, Jackson. Just real quick, for 2 seconds. Scroll back up to that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Oh, you know what? They can go 0-1.
Iowa has no chance of beating Ohio. Like that is not a thing that Iowa's going to win that game at all.
Hey, where's it at? Is it at? Oh, it's in
Columbus.
There's some funky magic that happens in Iowa, but it's not Iowa.
Nebraska's not winning that game.
You know, here's what's going to happen. They're going to beat Iowa. They might be so after Iowa, they could go 0-3 or 1-2. That's what I see.
Well, I think they're going to go 3-0 here. This is a complete Ohio State team. They're strong across the board this year. Penn State and Oregon have shown like real weaknesses this year, real vulnerabilities. Ohio State's been the only team in the Big Ten that has lived up to.
Well, they're also the only team that their first 3 games are against the local children of the poor.
Yeah. But Penn State and Oregon also both had like major struggles.
Penn State played a Power 4 team, though. I mean,
wait. I'm saying Penn State won by a touchdown against Bowling Green, 1 score.
Bowling Green, though, who did they play this week? They played
They played A&M this week, and they
gave them problems. Bowling Green be giving people problems now. Do you remember last year with one of the greatest national champions of all time in Michigan? They gave them some problems.
Yeah, they have a quarterback that played that was a starter for 2 Power 5 programs. Yeah, Connor Bazelak there. So no, they've
Yeah, I need to look. I need to see Ohio State
Penn
not play the local
State and
charity. That's
Penn
what I
State
need
and
to see.
Oregon have shown some like vulnerabilities against weaker competition. Ohio State. I mean,
But you got to admit, Sean,
this
that
is
Ohio
such
State has played by far the weakest
such an
schedule.
experienced team, though. Like it's like
I know, but you got to admit they played by far the
these
weakest
guys have all
schedule.
won a bunch of football games. They've played a ton.
No, I
This
know,
is-
but you have to admit, though. Come on, you have to admit they played by far the weakest schedule. So
Oh yeah,
Like, it's not-
it's been bad. It's been soft. It's no question. Ohio State hasn't played anybody yet, so
No.
and Ohio State has enough talent that if they play weak competition, they're gonna. I mean, this is every
Yeah,
year, no matter who it is. They always look great against the sister of the poor.
yeah, that was something we talked about last week. Ohio State's the one team, probably in college football, that over the last since Ryan Day's been the head coach there.
Even Urban Meyer.
They have never struggled at all. They don't have a struggle game against
Even Urban Meyer was like that.
No, not necessarily. Urban Meyer got blown out
against group of 5 teams.
No, but by average Iowa and Purdue teams. Iowa and Purdue teams won 6-7 games.
We've got a couple more weeks to be talking about Ohio State, Iowa. No worries there.
Yeah.
And we are so sorry that it took this long, Adam. And he's asking, he's asking if I can invite Utah Tech QB Deacon Hill to the show to discuss his experience and growth at Iowa.
You got that kind of pull, Jackson?
Is he at Utah Tech?
Yep.
Oh yeah, Spencer Petras is the one that's at Utah State. Yeah.
Adam, are you talking about here on After Dark? Yeah, just I'm curious because if Bacon Hill's all right with it, I mean, if everybody here at the Voice College Football's all right with it, I mean,
you can do it on your Jacksonian program, maybe.
That'd be a pretty cool
one. All right, guys,
man.
I gotta jet out of here, man. It was fun talking to you.
Night, Michigan man.
We coming for everybody. Hey, we haven't lost a Big Ten game since 2021, man. It's been a minute. I'm hoping somebody, because I'm getting a little bored just watching this, winning the Big Ten at this point, man. It's just a common occurrence. But all right, peace.
Oh, shut up.
Little brother might be giving you your next loss here. Let's see that.
Look at that little bitch. He ran away. I came back with the duck, and he's like, I gotta get out of here.
He don't like Donald Duck. What Donald Duck ever do to Michigan, man?
What is going on with my hair right now?
I don't know, but
no wonder Shane wears a hat. Don't blame him.
Well, so
I mean, Sean, you need to wear a mask.
Oh Lord. Well,
no. I apologize to the chat and the panel here. I told everyone I would get in contact with the AD for the Merrimack.
Yeah.
I apologize. I have not reached out. I will do that. It will not be next week. Hopefully we can have the president or the AD for Merrimack University on. But next week, Jackson will be filling in 100% for me because I will be at a concert and unavailable. And Jackson will be running the After Dark show. So shout out to Jackson. You do not get Merrimack president or AD. I get him. Don't test me, Jackson. Don't you do it. I swear to God, if you do it, I will find you, Jackson. I will hunt you down.
I feel like I should be the one that gets him anyway. I'm more responsible for this meme than anyone else.
Merrimack will take any promotion they can get anywhere. Right. Are you kidding me? Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
Merrimack shirts. Look at Merrimack shirts. Who does Merrimack play next week? I think it's the Bears. But
No, they play Dartmouth next week.
Oh, it's Dartmouth. Is that what it was?
And somehow Dartmouth has played one game so far this year.
What the?
Which is bullshit.
Oh yeah, you are correct. It's Dartmouth. Then they have a bye week. Then they play the Morgan State Bears.
And Shane is just wondering what the fuck this is all about.
Yeah, well, I kind of figuring out that there's some sort of backstory and it's cute, and I want to hear the rest of it.
I still have no idea. I think we talked about Air Force beating Merrimack, and they went on a rant about Merrimack for like 40 minutes.
Really?
On a live stream about Merrimack.
Some Merrimack fan went on a rant about Merrimack.
These idiots. And I was like, what are we doing right now? And then people keep trying to bring it up. I'm like, stop it. We're not talking about Merrimack anymore. So I just give them a shout out now at the beginning of the shows. And Dave Walensky, thank God for the Vikings. They got the best case out of Buffalo to go for the loss. I don't know what that means, but sure. No idea. I don't know if that's a mix. Is that a mix?
I think you meant to say thank Thor for the Vikings.
Thanks for the Vikings for getting the Gopher loss. Yeah, Minnesota Vikings for getting the Minnesota Gophers loss. Okay, got it. Got it. That took me a second. I was like, are we mixing college and NFL here somehow? Like, what is going on right now? Yeah. Thank you for clarifying that, Sean. I needed the help.
But yeah,
thanks Sam Darnold. Thank J.J. McCarthy's weak meniscus.
But yeah, we didn't mention a little bit about Washington State, San Jose State. That game was wild. And it's the first time since 1906-07 that Washington State is 4-0 in consecutive years.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. It was 54-52, 2 overtimes.
Yep.
That's one of those, that's a traditional Pac-12.
Yeah, that is.
Style game.
And
thank God that touched all the games. Now I crossed everything off
my page. You look sloppy, but I will say for more on that, friend Clint Foster, who's a very good friend of the Voice College Football, has a funny video on that.
TCU guy. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah. How about that? SMU and TCU. What the fuck was that score? It was like 66?
59-45.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what to make of the Big 12 because SMU looked trash against BYU. Then they do that, and then BYU destroys Kansas. I'm like, I have no idea what to do with the Big 12.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's just
no idea.
Madness.
Dave Walensky, thank you for the super chat. And hopefully the Gophers will, you'll continue rowing the boat. You'll get it back on track. And that is true, Troy. Where would we be without?
Where would we be?
Where would we be?
Well,
I don't know.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about the warship that fought in the Civil War. Against the monitor, we would probably be in a much worse place. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this dude. We do have to talk about this because I didn't watch this game. Yeah. I saw a little highlights earlier. Sonny Dice getting ejected from the game.
Texas high school ball.
How many times can you think off the top of your head a football coach got ejected from the game?
College?
Wait, I'm unaware.
In college. I don't think I can personally think of a single time a head coach has been ejected from a game that I can think of right off the top of my head.
Just basketball.
I grew up a Cincinnati Reds fan. I followed the career of Lou Piniella. Has to be like the all-time king of getting thrown out of Major League Baseball games. Do you guys remember Lou Piniella?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When Bob Huggins was at Cincinnati, he got thrown out of a lot of basketball games when he was.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely.
But not football.
Basketball. That's
not
a much more common thing. Football, though.
No.
You're right.
I cannot think of a coach getting ejected from a game. You see the sideline warnings and stuff,
So wait,
Not
Sonny,
ejection.
wait. Sonny Dice got ejected. Like they told him he had to leave. Is that right?
Apparently so. That's what I've seen. I did not watch the game.
Well, that's the
is what
first
I
I'm
have
hearing
seen.
about
That is what I've seen, where he literally was told, "You're gone. Get out of here." Like, not penalties, sideline warning, not penalties, nothing. Like, you out. It was
And
funny
I mean,
because
like,
it was SMU, TCU, and they're like 30 miles apart from each other, of course. And they were like on Twitter, it was like, "Wow, this shit is deep and heated." The rivalry, like.
well, it is kind of a shame that they're both in Power 5 conferences and they're not in the same one, because that is, I like, those are both small schools, but I'm aware enough about that rivalry to know that is like a very intense, heated rivalry between the two schools, between alums of the two places. And it's so niche. It's like most people, even in the Dallas Fort Worth area, don't care much about it. But it's the people, if you're in the TCU or the SMU culture, you care very deeply.
You have to be like at least an alum. I've been to an SMU game way back in 2013, 2012, 2013 at their home stadium. I went to an SMU game because I lived about 10 miles from them. But TCU was 25 miles away in Fort Worth, and I lived close to them for a while too. So it's a very close proximity type of thing. Yeah, the fact that they're not in the same conference is kind of mind-blowing to me. But again, if actual sports fans had a say in regional shit and rivalries, it would be, it would have been done years ago.
Yeah, but like, it's good upon those programs to make sure that rivalry stays alive. I mean, because that's probably one of the better interconference rivalries, along with what it's very similar to West Virginia Pitt. Like, you know what? Like, as long as they're both playing football, there's no excuse for you guys not to play each other.
Troy, I just give all the super chat. I'm getting right back to it, Matt, for you, but. Damn it, Troy. You bastard. Back to Matt. Yeah, Cal choking to Florida State. Think ahead versus Miami.
Yeah.
Cal. This is a Justin Wilcox special. You have all the momentum going in this game against a team that is just about to die. Literally, they're waiting to literally bury themselves alive. And your play calling is awful. Everything they did play calling for the second half was terrible. And like, they missed 2 field goals. That would have been the difference in the game. But it's fucking 2nd and 9. Just run the ball again. Get 4 or 5 more yards. Don't throw it 40 yards down the field for an incompletion.
Well,
doing it.
I'm sure Justin Wilcox has no hand in the offensive play calling.
No, he fucking does. He fucking doesn't. But at the same time, Jesus Christ, just run the ball. All you have to do is run the fucking ball.
Yeah, but Miami, guys, is legit this year. Joey and I called that one, and we've been high on Miami.
That game was kind of competitive for a while against USF. I mean, that went deeper than I thought it would.
It did, but then they pulled away there at the end. But Miami is in it for the long haul, I think, this year, and they're a playoff team. And until they get stomped, I'm gonna ride that. They're good. The Canes, baby.
Yeah. They're the clear front runner in the ACC. Which, I mean, like, who would have thought, like, they joined the ACC 20 years ago? Is that right, Jackson?
Yes, that's about right.
22 years ago. 22 years ago, right?
Yeah.
No,
let the person who knows what he's talking about speak. Jackson, what?
Miami and Virginia.
I don't like his attitude.
2004 was 2004 was the first year that Miami and Virginia Tech were in the ACC, and Boston College was first in the ACC in 2005.
So this is their 21st season, I guess, in the ACC, and they have never ever played in the ACC championship game. Is that right, Jackson?
Oh
no, they did
They played in the
that's right.
Miami played in the ACC title game
2002.
first in 2017. That was their only trip to the ACC title game.
38-0 against Clemson.
Okay, that's right.
They got smacked by Clemson. Yes.
Yeah, we have to apologize to Dave Valinsky. He pointed out, and somehow we missed it. Or I think a bunch of them missed it. I don't know how. He had one foot in the boat, 1 foot out after the Iowa game. He knows a miles away from the fucking top. What the fuck, Dave? I apologize. We somehow that super chat kind of got lost in there. It starred, but it kind of got lost in the chat randomly.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, I was like, wait, I had to go back and double check. I was like, so I apologize for that. That's on me. I apologize, Dave. You know we love you, Dave. You're always here. This season has been wild so far. That's all I can say right now. Like there are teams like Ohio State. Looks like a really good team. They love to start slow as shit though. Maybe that's competition wise. I don't know. Oregon has struggled. They've had their O-line issues. It seems like they're fixed, but I need consistency. West Virginia looks good, but not great.
Not great.
Alabama has been slow and then kind of picked it up at times. And Clemson, great. They've been demolishing crap teams. You know, I mean, like we don't really know what to think this year at this point. I need more data. Basically.
Yep.
That's my thing. I need
Conference play will sort it out.
Yep.
So Dave, apologize for missing your super chat there earlier. I do apologize. That's on me. If Jackson was actually running the show, it would not have been missed.
Next week, Jackson will be running the show, right?
Shut up. Way to downplay me. Erica, I want to get to you too. Okay, that's what he got. He got 2 unsportsmanlike penalty. Is that what it takes to get a coach ejected?
We're talking about Sonny Dykes.
Yeah,
here.
Is that what it takes to get ejected in football? 2 unsportsmanlike conducts.
That definitely is the rule. That definitely is the rule. If you get 2 unsportsmanlikes, you will. You get off.
I have never seen that in football. In college, anyways, I've never seen that. So that's that's a new one. I mean, that's a new one. I named the last college football coach that got ejected from a game.
Oh God,
I couldn't tell you. I literally no.
Exactly.
Probably
like the
Woody
80s
Hayes
or something like that.
Woody Hayes or Bear Bryant or something, for punching a player.
Yeah.
Didn't Woody Hayes punch a player or something?
He punched the guy, Clemson.
Well, no,
he got fired.
That's why he got fired. He didn't get ejected though. He got fired. Yeah, he didn't get ejected. He got fired. Basically.
He
had to resign.
He got ejected from the game, and then about a week later, he
resigned / fired, whatever. Yeah. But I mean, 2 in sport. I need to go back and watch to see what the penalties were for. I'm assuming they were harassing the refs. I'm assuming they were cussing out the refs. That's what I have to assume they were for. Oh man. Sonny Dykes is a character, though. We loved him in the Pac-12. He was a fucking nightmare for Oregon, though, too. With Jared Goff and shit.
It is so odd thinking of him as a head coach at Cal, too. I'm like you think of a character that does not fit the university that they're representing.
He had Jared Goff. He had Davis Webb. He had some good quarterbacks at Cal.
Oh yeah,
good quarterback.
Yeah, that's that's all that Cal's been known for a long time.
Well, yeah, I mean that's just
Kyle Buller, Aaron Rodgers, some guy was it Rodgers or something back in the
Aaron
early.
Rodgers. Yeah.
Yeah, Jackson. Yeah.
Is there any other game that people would like to talk about specifically?
Miami smacking South Florida, Virginia Tech having a weird ass safety against Rutgers, and how Rutgers is looking like a huge surprise team in all college football.
Yeah, but Rutgers will lay an egg eventually. I mean, just don't get too high on them yet. Jackson.
I was feeling really good about Rutgers until like the fourth quarter of the game. They were beating the crap out of Virginia Tech, and then they let them back in the game.
Let's look at their schedule, shall we? And
I mean, they've got the worst schedule in the Big Ten.
I was gonna say, are you surprised by Rutgers at this point? Because Rutgers was already notably they had a not difficult schedule.
It's bad.
People said they were going to go like probably 8 wins at least.
Yeah. So, yep. They host Washington this week, and then they're at Nebraska. That's a key game because if they, I mean, there's a plausible path to 8-0. It seems unlikely, but I mean, UCLA is awful, so they should win that one.
Michigan State's going to be a toss-up. Maryland toss-up because Maryland looked good for a couple games and looked like crap for a game.
Maryland, unless Maryland's playing like Ohio State, it's always going to be a toss. Ohio State is going to be a toss-up. Yeah.
At USC, that's a toughie. That's a loss.
Go up.
Wait, are you sure that's a loss? I mean,
I think it is.
I think it is too. But
listen, I think Rutgers might be kind of a superior version of what Michigan wants to be.
Go up to the earlier. Yeah. So like Nebraska, like what are you going to get with Nebraska? You don't know who's going to show up. Like, what's it going to be I mean, Nebraska is so scattered. Like you don't know.
No.
Washington's another team that might
like Nebraska, they should lose that game. Like that's kind of like you think more often than not Nebraska's going to pull that one out. But that's one that Rutgers is very live in. They're very capable. You know,
I see 3 losses, and that's it.
Yeah. I do too. That's where I'm at. I'm like kind of like, I mean, and then again, they could surprise you in one of those games.
Right, they can steal one. They can steal one, so they could be a 9. Yeah. They could be a 9 or 10 win year this year.
But
Washington is not good. Washington is not good. Nebraska, okay, that's fair. Wisconsin, okay. UCLA is not good. USC on the road across the country.
I'm going to give USC because they're flying out there. Guys, I fly out to your neck of the woods. I fly into Eugene and then have to go up to Corvallis, and I stay up there for work, and it takes a day or two to recover from that. Just if you do it frequently,
Yeah, I think the schedule for Rutgers though is very nice to them in a way. And they're starting off
in a way.
Well, and they're starting off good. They're starting off good though. So props to Rutgers. They're not making the schedule. Yeah. This is what is presented to them. So. You win everything, you win it. I mean,
Howard Bison sounds like a real estate company. Howard Bison Real Estate or insurance.
Yes, Adam, you are calling for a Rutgers game. Everyone, any show ideas that you got for the Voice of College Football, email Mark Rogers at let me see, at Mark. Yeah,
it's MarkRogersTV.
MarkRogersTV at gmail.com.
Oh, I knew that more than Jackson did. That's surprising. Yep. How the hell did I remember that? I'm drunk. What the hell is wrong with you, Jackson?
Well, we're up at midnight. That's why.
Yeah.
Well, hey, 1 o'clock. Almost
One
1:30.
23. Yes,
Yeah, it's
boys.
4:23 here. I mean,
So,
but yeah, as Jackson said, if you guys have an idea for a show or a channel idea or something like that that Mark can include, definitely, like Jack said, feel free, email Mark, pitch the idea, do it. How do you think I got the fucking After Dark show? I pitched it to him. We had a meeting. He's like, I like it. And 3 years ago, we started this bitch. Well, or a little over 2 years. I'm sorry, a little over 2 years. This is the third season, but a little over 2 years. We started. He was like, yeah, run with it. Go for it. And here we are.
So if I can break down Ben's coding right here, he's instructing you all to spam Mark with ideas for a Merrimack channel.
Oh God!
I will personally host the Merrimack channel. I think most of you will be involved just to talk Merrimack football.
Yeah, we'll
even
talk
though we
Merrimack
have no
football.
idea what the hell.
I'll promote it.
Hired.
I'll promote it on X, Instagram, and Threads, TikTok. I mean, hell, just give me the song to promote it on Instagram, and I'll put it on my Instagram stories.
Right.
And I will continue to work for getting the AD or president of Merrimack onto this channel. I will.
And Adam,
this show.
I love the idea of getting Deacon Hill on After Dark. I mean, if he's all right with it, I mean, sounds good.
Anyone who wants to come on here can come on here. That's the thing. If you get a guest, if we have, that would be our first guest on the After Dark. Technically, guest. Like who's not involved with the Voice of College Football. So by all means, let's go.
That'd be huge, right there.
Erica, it's not good. It's literally like one in 3. 1 in 3. I believe.
Yeah. We had we had a little bit of a setback this weekend. Got strong first half, but you know.
But yes, tell your friends, your family, your frenemies, and the cashiers at Publix every Sunday night about CFB After Dark right here on The Voice of College Football. And don't forget to tell your friends and family if they're looking to watch a top-notch morning show in all college football, come on in to the College Football Show on The Voice of College Football. And if you're looking for top-notch exclusive live streams, watch parties, predictions, betting advice, and insider looks, all college football, go to patreon.com or become a YouTube member at The Voice of College Football, including the $99 tier for CFB bets, where you can get some of the top hits from Mark Rogers, the host of the Steve Deace Show and the Michigan podcast, Steve Deace, Matt Zimmett from Trojans Wire, and USC at The Voice of College Football's Trojans Conquest, Matt Zimmett. And finally, you can get some pits, some top-notch pits from Steve Merrill, where he brings out the under-the-radar pick of the week every week. And let me tell you something. If you're doing some parlay sheets, always put in the under-the-radar pit from Steve Merrill. I guarantee you it's like making an investment for the future.
Jackson always alienates our Midwest viewers with the Publix references. Like, if you have a Kroger's cashier that you're familiar with, let them know about it as well. Okay.
As to Adam here, yeah. If you
Mark
doesn't have a Rutgers thing going on that I'm aware of, so email
Adam,
Mark,
it's yours.
Yeah, email Mark. He'll talk to him. I'm sure he'd probably be down with getting a Rutgers show going.
Yeah, a lot of Rutgers alum want to watch some college foosball.
Yeah, it's all about just garnering interest, and Rutgers
They
does have a lot of steam this year. They
are one of the two. They are one of the two first teams in all college football from 1869. Yeah. So I mean,
oh geez,
yeah.
Can we get a Princeton show on The Voice of College Football?
You shut your mouth. No, that's not going to happen.
We don't need any
Trader Joe's
there we go. We have the health conscious. Like we have the
or Whole Foods.
Yeah,
Totally
well, make
enthusiastic.
sure to tell. Yeah, somebody's got to make sure to tell me all of the popular grocery stores of all of the USA, and I'll make sure to have a list of it written
Well,
down.
you know Kroger. It's Kroger's in the South too.
Yeah, I mean Kroger,
You know.
Publix, Whole Foods,
Piggly Wiggly,
Trader
Giant
Joe's.
Eagles,
Yeah,
And I know Safeway, Albertsons, all that. You know, the other
Albertsons,
big
yeah.
ones. Yeah, I know all that.
Erica,
I'm interested. I mean, how far does Meyer? Because that's a big chain around here, but that's
Fred-
from
Myers, yeah, Myers.
Meyer.
Meyer or Fred Meyer?
Fred Meyer, yeah, Fred Meyer.
Yeah,
was
Fred
a-
Meyer. That's a northern thing. Fred Meyer.
Yeah, like
Same with
that's
Safeway. That's a northern thing.
they're a
Ohio.
but no, they're a Grand Rapids. Fred
Yeah,
Meyer
yeah.
from Grand Rapids.
No, I know, but I mean, I lived in Oregon. I had Fred Meyer.
Yeah. So is Meyer?
Oh, Jesus Christ! I had Fred Meyer, Safeway, Albertsons. That was it. Now I'm in the South. You still have some Albertsons out here, not Safeways, not Fred Meyer's, but you have then the Kroger's, HEBs. Here, everything.
Wait. They call it Fred Meyer out there.
No, we don't. You don't have it here in the
Michael
South.
Meyer. Halloween.
No.
You don't have. Yeah, you don't have it here in the South.
Meijer. Like, I'm sure a lot of people know what I'm talking about here.
There we go, Adam. We support you fully. Let's get a Rutgers show going. Let's do
exactly.
it. Let's go.
Ralph Wolf's calling for a Penn State show. Let's go. Let's get a Penn State show going. I like it, and it's like I said, for anybody that wants to fill up the rest of the Power Five or has ideas for any more of the Power Five teams that don't have a show or channel on the Voice of College Football, email Mark at MarkRogersTV@gmail.com for host or co-host ideas for those channels.
That's it. Mark is open to all ideas. Trust me. And Shane knows it. Jackson knows it, especially. I know it because of this show and then taking over the Oregon channel, basically on his on part of him and doing that in the post game. And fuck you, network, for putting the UCLA Oregon game this week at 8 p.m. Pacific. It's 10 p.m. when it starts here, so that means the post game is at 1:30 to 1:45 in the morning again.
I would say fuck you for UCLA for having just a dog shit program.
That's the problem. Thank you.
I would love to. I would love nothing more than to be watching that game at like 1 in the morning.
I know. We saw the time come out, and everyone was like, "Fuck!" And I'm like, "It's because UCLA sucks." And we have Locked On UCLA coming up this week on our channel.
Yes,
so, he's gonna be like, he's the same thing. He's gonna be like, "Yeah, they suck." Yeah, they suck. It'll be the same thing. All right. Any other quick games you guys want to recap real quick?
I've got it all out of my system.
Yeah.
No, we did. One of the really good games of this week that was underrated, the Michigan State Boston College. We touched on it a little bit.
That. We talked on. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. That was a
a game that could have gone either way. If Michigan State would have won that game, they probably would have been in the top 25, which would have been hilarious. If USC would have done what they were supposed to do and beat Michigan, and Michigan State wins there, seeing Michigan State in the top 25 and Michigan not would have been like it just would have made my week. I would have walked around with a smile and a bounce in my step. I probably would have given more to charity, and I probably would have volunteered and helped some kids. So I mean, the world's worst place because Michigan won, Michigan State didn't. But what can you do?
Yeah. It's this last week was there was so many just wild, weird, oddly close. Maybe should not have been like those games. It was just one of those weekends. It was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, it's weird too, because this didn't look like on paper it was going to be like one of those like great intriguing weekends.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. I looked at the
schedule.
I looked at the schedule and I was like, there's a couple. There's like 4 or 5 good games I want to watch,
like
but nothing crazy. But then they all turned out to be just stupid, like ridiculous in the sense of scores and stuff. I mean, again, JMU North Carolina. I expected a decent game. I did not expect JMU to put up 70 on North Carolina. You know, it was one of those weekends where you're just like, what is happening right now? Again, it was like 53-20 at halftime. JMU, you know, it's like, what? What is happening right now? This is stupid. But now we get into conference, a real conference, at least outside the ACC, SEC, who has their non-con stuff later in the years, later in the year and stuff like that. But we're going to actually get into the actual conference games.
Yeah. This is really the first week that's like just almost everybody's in conference news now. Right?
It was a great week, Troy. You're right, buddy. It was. But so I will be on here next week with Jackson. So I'll help him man the gate.
Yep, that is right, everyone. We will be here normally, as normal, next week for the After Dark show. I will not be here. I will be at a concert, pre-scheduled. You can thank Sam for that. But Jackson has been so gracious to fill in as the host and run this bitch. And Shane will be here apparently too, and very much appreciated.
I'll make sure to do better than I did last time.
I don't know. I didn't even watch it. I didn't give a shit. I mean, I dropped in. I said, "Good job, guys." I think in the chat or something like that. But I didn't. I was at a concert also. I was at Limp Bizkit at that time. So.
Oh yeah. Well, Jackson does it all for the Nookie.
It might have been during. It might have been during Nookie. Even I don't even know what song it was during.
It was the week before week 0, I think.
Was it?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
I wasn't on that show, so I don't know.
Will was on there, I think. Yeah.
I think I dropped his super chat that week, but
yeah.
I wasn't able to. Yeah.
I have too many different shows I do between my channel and this, and then the Oregon one. I'm like, I can't remember shit. Like
my mistake.
And like your real job and like your real life.
Yeah, and then work time, and you sleep like 4.5 hours a day. You go to work full time. Everything just starts running together. Yeah. Like I get up in 4.5 hours, or not even 4.5, about a little over 4 hours. I go to work. I come back, and then I have the Monday night show on my channel for 2.5, 3 hours, getting drunk with people and talking nonsense. Then I have the Wednesday show, and I do it again. It's just nonstop. And eventually, everything just runs together. Where you're like, I don't know. Did we do that? I don't fucking know. I have no idea.
My mistake. It was 2 weeks before week 0.
Week 0.
You were close enough.
Yeah.
We can't. Who are we replacing Jackson with now? Since he made this mistake, who is
Adam? Good night, Adam. We're
I'm pulling for you with the Rutgers show. I'm pulling for you.
Boom. You got it.
I'll tell everybody tune in.
Yep.
You just like.
Oh Jesus. Fuck me. I will too, because we don't play Rutgers this year, but we eventually will have to play Rutgers. So, and it's the Fighting Shianos. Remember, it rhymes with Shiano.
He's still coaching there. He's a big deal.
What odds would you have given like 10 years ago? Say, hey, you know what? You're eventually going to be at a conference with Rutgers.
Crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
most people would have fucking laughed their ass off. Almost everyone here would have laughed their ass
I
off
would've.
thinking about
I
that 10
would've.
years ago.
I laughed my ass off when Rutgers got into the Big Ten. I was like, what?
It's true.
I remember when I thought it was funny that Notre Dame was joining the ACC. Like, yeah, they're really Atlantic Coast, right? Now Cal is in it.
People are shitting on Pitt and West Virginia, and Rutgers made it to the Big Ten.
Well, hold on. Let's be fair. Notre Dame is full and half-assed. Like, they're 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like, they are like pants halfway down, but not fully off. You know, kind of thing. Like, they're not there. You know. Anyways, moving on. As someone else I know on the panel would say, gentlemen, any other game you want to talk about really quickly?
No, I don't have anything.
All done.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank God. Thank God. Then shut the fuck up. Shane,
exactly.
where can people follow you online if they want to find you?
You can find me on the West Virginia channel for the Voice of College Football. And then I have the West Virginia Mountaineer Mafia. That's on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Same time as an hour after my Voice of College Football show. Then on Wednesdays, if you're an NFL fan, if you like the Steelers in particular, Steelers Dynasty podcast. And it's at 9 every Wednesday like clockwork. So that's where you can find me.
And of course, give Shane a follow on X at Shane Stat for fans on X.
Damn it. Love it.
Yes, right.
Love it. Sean.
I'm trying to get that started. I'm trying to be savvy with the old technology.
There you go. You and me. Well, you and me are the oldest here, so yeah. Same thing. Sean, where can people follow you?
Oh, you can find me right here every Sunday on the Voice of College Football After Dark, and you can also find me quite frequently at the Pyramid Scheme in Grand Rapids.
Okay.
And also Mulligan's in Grand Rapids, and Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays at MVP Sportsplex. Get my swole on. At also in Grand Rapids, and that's about it. And Jackson has a link to my Twitter profile if you want to shoot me a DM or talk some ball there. I'm always game. And yeah, that's it. So we're getting into conference season, everyone. This is the fun part. This is it. What grocery store? Hey! I already told you. I'm a Meijer shopper. Meijer. The Meijer at 3 Mile and Plainfield, that's the one I go to regularly. So
find you at Myers, right?
Meijer.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, there we go.
Sean, you have given the most long drawn out fucking bullshit where to follow me excuse that I can find, that the fact that Sam texts me from the bedroom going, go to sleep, basically. I know that's what he's
Sam actually watching this show right now.
He's like, shut the fuck up, go to sleep. He's laughing, and that's what he's doing. He's like, shut the fuck up. All right. And Jack, where can people find you?
Oh, where can they find me? Well, they can find me on Jackson Johnson 979 on YouTube, where I'm 126 subs away from the magic number 500. They can find me on Jackson VOCFB on X. They can find me on Jackson Johnson 543908 on Instagram and Threads. They can find me on Alabama with the Voice of College Football where I host Crimson Tide Live, 5 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday afternoons with Johnny Burtz, including this week's episode with Palmer Toms from Dog HQ at On 3, where we discuss the Alabama-Georgia preview. And let me tell you something, it's going to be a wild ride. And as for the post-game show, I will be also co-hosting the Alabama post-game show with Zach Remulus as soon as Alabama Georgia is done and over with. And let me tell you, that's going to be a good one. And, of course, I'm hoping to get the 500 subs on my personal channel. I'm getting closer. And the Alabama channel is 85 subs away from the magic number 2,500. So, I mean, that's all I asked for my birthday on September 30th I need the help I can get to 2,500 subs and 500 subs if everybody's okay with it.
You just tore it.
I am not okay with it, Jackson. No.
Tore everyone's heartstrings right there. Like, oh.
No.
Well, I mean, I do celebrate my birthday for a birth week, so there you go.
And there you go.
Everybody should do that.
So once again, everyone here, thank you, everyone of the panel, of course, here. Shane, Sean,
you're welcome.
Jackson, as always.
Ben, don't forget you got your show with Locked On UCLA Tuesday night.
Well, yes, we have the Oregon show coming up. We have multiple different shows coming up. The West Virginia shows, Alabama shows. We have Ohio State shows coming up this week, as we have multiple games coming up. We have the network has unlimited amount of shows. If you want college football content, you're gonna find it. Just search the network here on the Voice of College Football. You'll find it. So everyone hit the like, share, subscribe. Make sure you're tuned in to your team. Next week, Jackson will be running the show. Shane apparently will be helping. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. And then Jackson, you're going to also help with the Oregon Live for the Michigan State midweek show. Apparently, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll set that. We'll get that set up and squared away. Yeah, as it goes. But to everyone here, all the super chats, Erica, everyone, I should stop deleting super chats. Not deleting them, but unstarring them because I forget names after a while. Because I'm scrolling. Okay, everyone who gave a super chat, highly appreciate it. Mark appreciates it. It helps the channel out a lot. You guys, that's how you get your questions and comments starred and brought right to the forefront for us to talk about and answer. And that's the main thing. And it helps support the channel as a whole. So we appreciate that.
There we go.
100%.
Let's get the Voice of College Football to 100,000 subs. More than that, but also it's 15 followers away from 61 followers on X. I'm gonna tell you right now, it'll be awesome if we could get it to 6,100, or better yet, let's get it to 10,000. So here is the link, friends.
How in the hell this thing is not at over 50,000 followers still on YouTube? I have no idea. Absolutely absurd.
Well, don't forget also, there's one more thing, and this is the last one, I swear. The upcoming book from Mark Rogers himself, coming on October 29th, where he has a book called The Disputed National Champions, College Football's Historical 1990s Reset. So tell all your friends, your family, your friends at the cashiers at your favorite grocery store about this book, and make sure to get it. If you want to spoil yourself before Christmas, you can. If you got a birthday in November, December, or on Halloween, get yourself this book. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to regret it. I could guarantee you will enjoy that book.
That's right. I know Jackson, you, and especially I'm pretty sure Shane probably is too. And I am going to get the early version, so to say. I don't want to say early version, but we're going to get a copy here pretty soon.
A taste.
Yeah, allegedly. Allegedly.
Yeah, this and this is being released on my birthday, so you know I
there
know
Wait,
right
hold,
there.
Hold on. That was released on when? What day did you say, Jackson?
October 29th.
And that's
Yep.
your birthday. That's your birthday, Sean.
That is.
You may be seeing Mark Rogers on some shows that you wouldn't
Sean,
think of seeing, but you'll love it.
Sean, mine's the 30th.
Really?
Mine's
Oh,
October
nice.
30th.
Your
Right.
birthday buddies. Your
You can go
birthday
fuck. You can go fuck yourself. 'Cause
Birthday
I'm close
buddies.
to Halloween, bitch.
Wait. Scorpio clan,
Scorpio.
unite.
Let's go. Let's fucking go.
No,
Sean and Ben are
Hey,
birthday buddies,
What
man.
are you
That's
guys
awesome.
watching now? Like, this is great.
All right. This is becoming a shit show at this point. Let me find it. Let me find it.
There
let
we
me
go.
find it. Let me find it. Let me find
Okay.
it.
There
And
we
we're
go.
gonna give our guest the honor in this.
Are you ready,
Yes,
Shane?
sir.
Honor to say the magic
Are
words.
you
I'm
ready?
ready.
Shane, play.
Pop-Tart,
What do you
take us
have to
home.
say? What?
wait.
Pop-Tart, take us home.
Oh, I'll accept that. That's good enough. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Now the 33-degree Mason.
God, I can't wait for next year's pop.
What?
I really
There we
can't.
go.
So good.
He's just like a Buckingham Palace guard, right? Like he just cannot react to anything here.
No, he likes it. He's like, oh yeah.
Well,
We'll talk.
he
We'll
has
talk
to
later.
hang still with